Welcome in. Welcome in. Thursday is here. The weekend is right around the corner. But of course, before we can even think about the weekend, Kyle, we have more Alabama football news that we have got to discuss. We have got to unpack. And before we can get there, as always, I have to start this off by asking, how you doing today?
Doing great, man. And good morning to the undefeated. Today we have some NFL Combine taking place, so we will keep you posted on kind of the news and notes around the NFL Combine. And next week at this time, we'll be discussing 2 Alabama practices by this point in time next week, because you have a practice on Monday and you have a practice on Wednesday. New formats that are going to happen with Alabama and how the coaches are talking to media, how the players are talking to media. Well, we're allowed to see it practice. So, yeah, we'll be on site here in Tuscaloosa to bring all that coverage to you. And it's a beautiful morning. So let us know where you're coming from inside the comment box. We appreciate you guys being here. What's up, Trainwreck? William, I see you inside the comment box coming from Tupelo, Mississippi. And everybody, let us know where you're coming from in the comment box where we get the show warmed up. Ty, what's up, man? I always appreciate you leading off for us right here on Bama Football on YouTube.
Man, I always have a good time doing so, especially when you and I get to chop it up for a bit. We've been talking about we don't get to do that as much. And Kyle, we're well represented in here today. We have San Antonio. We have Baton Rouge.
Oh, yeah.
For those of you from San Antonio, hey, I'm just a few hours north. For those of you from Baton Rouge, I used to be in Baton Rouge every year for moot court for the Southern University Law Center down there in Baton Rouge for my moot court regionals, which is where it was always held. So, yeah, very familiar with the city of Baton Rouge, was there quite often and had a great time there. But, man, we've got a lot to discuss today. And when you talk about the Combine, isn't it defensive front guys today? So we should be waiting for Dallas Turner, Chris Braswell, stuff.
Yeah, and Justin Mbogbe as well. Yeah, I think when you look to the NFL Combine and you look to the players that are there from the defensive side of the ball, specifically the guys who are competing today, I think a guy like Chris Braswell could certainly shoot his stock up. And what I mean by that is not only will he do well in these interviews if they've taken place today or yesterday, but I think his on-the-field performance will really exemplify how talented he is as an overall prospect going in the NFL. You're talking about a guy who's 6'4", 260, runs probably a top end of like 21 miles per hour, just a natural athlete overall. And I think he complemented Dallas Turner so well, but I think he also was overshadowed because Dallas Turner's name was so big. I think with a guy like Justin Mbogbe, he's athletic for sure. He's not the most overly athletic guy, so I'm curious to see how he performs kind of in your L drills, your 40 times, whatever, drills that they have the defensive lineman doing. But I think hitting the bag and I think where he will stand out is once you get an idea of his mindset, like he's an NFL guy. I think sometimes you get it twisted. Like sometimes these NFL guys, are just like these football heavy, like, I don't know, like maybe like low intelligence. No. Like this is a grown man who is like, understands that he has like self-awareness. He's like knows where he's at on the team. I always kind of reflect back to before Kentucky, someone asked him, hey, Justin, like, what do you think about the NFL draft? And he's like, and I'm thinking about install here in an hour about Kentucky. I'm thinking about what my responsibilities are for this team. So when you start to talk to these players and understand the process that has spilled over for Coach Saban, I think they're going to do really well. And then with Dallas Turner, I mean, he's a first-round guy, and an early first-round guy. It's always amazing to me that he's 260 pounds, and he looks like he's like 190, 200 pounds because he just wears it so well. Super athletic, hell of a player. And I think out of everybody, he has like this mentality to just like switch it on the field. Hell of an edge rusher, one of the best to do it, honestly, here at Alabama. And you think of all the guys that have had that role, right? Like Dallas Turner's not too far, honestly, from William Henderson.
Well, and it's so funny you say that. I actually love that you went with these 3 names and that we get to talk about these 3 names today, because I think you make an unbelievable point about Braswell. Mm-hmm. Not only did Braswell have to play alongside Dallas Turner, where he still showed everybody in the NFL just how high his ceiling is. Kyle, the year before, I mean, we're talking about someone that's getting this much NFL recognition off of 1 year of work. The year before, he was with Will Anderson and Dallas Turner. And so Chris Braswell has always been amongst the Wolves, right? And he too is a Wolf. And I'm very excited for the NFL to really get to see that. I have no doubt he's going to test very well. He's really strong, very fast first step. Some NFL team is going to get an unbelievable player in Chris Braswell. Aboigby's so interesting to me because he's one of those guys where I would just like to tell every scout, turn on the film and trust your eyes. Right? Turn on the film, trust your eyes. This is a football guy. I mean, before that neck injury, he was on pace to have an incredible season. He had that unfortunate injury. What did he do? He came back this year and followed up on the trajectory he was going to go on with unbelievable games. Super excited about Braswell. And Dallas Turner is so exciting. Kyle, I was talking to a Texas content creator. And whenever we were unpacking the guys that Texas was sending to the draft, that Alabama was sending, he said, you know, maybe my favorite of the entire group we've talked about, Dallas Turner. He said, Ty, he reminds me of an edge that would have played in the 80s or 90s in the NFL. He said he has got an ability and a nastiness that we don't often see. So I'm interested to see how the numbers reflect on all three of these guys. I think that all three of them will test very well, but what do you think about Dallas Turner? What do you think his numbers are going to look like? I think that he's going to affirm himself as the #1 edge in the draft.
Oh yeah. I think that he'll shine. And I think, you know, in all aspects, I mean, he's just a player that's not only built for the combine. I think Chris Browse was probably a little bit more like combine testy type, you know, player, but I think Dallas Turner is like on the field, proof is in the pudding. Truth is in the details, like Coach Son always says, and like what he did on the field was, you know, ferocious. I think there was a couple games where they did a good job in like against Texas, for example, like talking to Dallas Turner after, he's like, I don't know why I didn't blitz more in that game. But overall, I mean, he was a player who leaves here at Alabama as, you know, a future NFL guy. Hey, T, can we say good? What's up, T? We appreciate you being here.
Good morning, Undefeated and Ty.
And I know Caitlin sent in a graphic of her with their Undefeated merch. Oh, okay. So could we get an update with like, you know, the people who have had their Undefeated merch? So if you're new to the channel, the chat is called Undefeated. And someone asked me, they're like, why is it called Undefeated? And I said, look, if you've been following Bama football for the last 45, 50 days, you've understood that like the Undefeated is our chat community. They're a very integral part of the overall, you know, community here at Bama football on YouTube. Plus, like the name comes from the fact that they have your back. Like they're undefeated. Like a lot of times when you're producing a show, you have zero time to go look something up. How many points did Mark Sears score last night? Right, like during the basketball game. How many rebounds did Alabama has? What's the line on the upcoming game? Boom, Undefeated always has your back. So, you know, we certainly appreciate our community and especially our sponsors. So, residents in Ocean City, Maryland, definitely want to give them a shout out this morning. Guests can book at residentsnoc.com. Use the promo code LPR for special Bama football pricing up to 20% off. We'd really appreciate them as well. And if you want to become a fan funder to support the overall staff, you get access to special emojis, exclusive videos from our staff, sneak peeks at videos before they release. Then hit the hyperlink above this video. I think that QR code, we have to update that, but the hyperlink should be posted inside this video up at the top. So we appreciate you guys being here, leading off with one of our great content creators this morning in Ty Hayes. Kind of just, you know, getting the show warmed up. And Alabama basketball last night had a big victory over Ole Miss. I'll talk about that on my segment at 9. And also the NFL Combine. We'll continue our spring football previews, question marks. But if you saw this Alabama basketball team last night, it was crazy because in the beginning, that's why you don't tweet during basketball games. Like football games is like you can kind of feel the pulse of the game. Nobody's coming back from like 21 points. But like last night, if you would have watched that basketball game and tweeted your first half tweets or thoughts or emotions, you would have looked so silly because in the end game, like Alabama basketball comes out and dominates. In fact, they scored 64 points in the second half, right? It was the 9th time that the team this year has scored over 100 points, tying the 1995 and 1996 Kentucky Wildcats, right? Like that's a 30-year span of like SEC play. It's crazy. So like Alabama now with a lot of momentum going into this next game against Tennessee on Saturday, where College Game Day will be. Yes, there's a College Game Day in basketball. But we are here this morning with Ty, kind of warming up the show. We appreciate you guys being here. So run the thumbs up on all these videos. Ty, you had a great video. You and Coach Sean talking about this running back room that we released to the public this morning. I found it really interesting when you look to the running back room under Coach Kalen DeBoer. The running backs have always ate. And I think sometimes we have this misconception that if you're a running back here under Coach Kalen DeBoer's system, you are not going to get fed. And that's absolutely not the case. That 1,000-yard rusher, he's not the first last year in Dylan Johnson to run for over 1,000 yards. I think it's critical that the running backs will be utilized, and I think they will 100% under Nick Sheridan, Jamarcus Shep, Coach Kalen DeBoer, all the offensive coaches. I mean, you look at the talent pool of running backs here. I mean, what stands out most to you when you look at a glance at this running back room going into the season?
So one of the things whenever Coach Sean and I met to do this video yesterday, I loved the timing of it. We were actually going to meet Tuesday. We were actually going to meet Monday. He had something come up on Tuesday. I had something come up. And finally, yesterday we got together, and it was perfect timing because the coaches had just done their interviews. And it really gave me a different thought process going into this video. And it was when Kalen DeBoer said that he tailors his offenses to the personnel. So, of course, he has a basic theory that he operates within, but he structures it around the guys he has access to. And so I started going back and looking at Washington. Now, this past year, Washington had Dylan Johnson, who had 233 carries. The number 2 guy in terms of attempts had 44. Now, it was interesting because the year before, he had multiple guys with over 100 carries, but the max was at 140. So what that showed me was that Coach Kalen DeBoer was being 100% forthright when he says he tailors the offense. Even though Washington didn't run 600 attempts, what they did when he had access to a running back like a Dylan Johnson, he was like, okay, if I only have one guy that I feel like can really tote the rock, I'm going to tote the rock through that guy. Whereas if I have a committee, I'm going to operate within a committee. He really does change what the offensive approach is based on the personnel.
Yeah.
And when you talk about Alabama's personnel, listen, I like Dylan Johnson. I think Dylan Johnson was a phenomenal player for Washington. One of the first things I ever said to you when we talked about Washington in November was, man, that running back for the Huskies doesn't get any love, but that cat right there can play. That running back room doesn't have anything on what Coach Kalen DeBoer is walking into in Tuscaloosa. Coach Sean and I discussed whether or not Alabama could have 1,000-yard rusher, and I absolutely think it's in the cards. Dylan Johnson did it. Justice Haynes is here. Jam Miller, Richard Young, Kevin Riley, Daniel Hill, and Kyle. Maybe most impactful of all was the retention of one Gillespie because Georgia came after him. He decided to stay. That is massive.
Yeah, I think that when you look to the running back room, it's really easy to get excited about Justice Haynes, right? You're like, 5 stars here, get him on the field. But it's also important to not forget about Jam Miller. Jam Miller brings so much to the table as a running back. Speed, power, he catches the football well. I think that he's an underrated running back going into spring. And I think that works out really well for him and for Alabama. I don't think that people know how good he is. I think he's a day one starter really anywhere he goes. I think Richard Young is a guy who must be so hungry to get on the field and showcase his overall abilities. Daniel Hill is a type of back that is big, imposing. I don't know, probably close to 240 pounds. And you see, like, there's a photo of him in Coach Kalen DeBoer kind of like, bumping fists, and he's a well-proportioned individual who's already here. Then you have Kevin Riley right here from Northport, Tuscaloosa County High School. So it's a healthy running back room. Tack on the fact that you have Turbo Rogers, right, in the class of 2025. And then also Alabama just added or is trying to recruit and pursue Bo Jackson out of Ohio. So, look, the running back is going to be a very important part of this offense. It's easy to talk about the receivers, the quarterbacks, but the running backs will make this offense a balanced approach. Justice Haynes is going to eat 1,000,000%. Don't lose sight of Jam Miller. And you guys did a great job highlighting those points because when you look to this running back room, it's one of the highest graded running back rooms going into the season from a positional standpoint. We asked yesterday on my show, we'll continue to talk about this at 9. What do you rank the running backs in terms of overall talent? Just the room right now. 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. And most people inside the Undefeated yesterday had between an 8 and 9 about this running back room. And people know, like, they understand that Jace left, who was very capable and who will be in the NFL, that Roydell is going to play for Florida State. I love Roydell. I thought he did a fantastic job. But I think people understand that Jam, Justice, Richard Young, like this running back room is capable to do whatever Coach Kalen DeBoer needs and more, because I think they're just so impactful. But Ty, you have a good segment. I will be back on at 9 a.m. I appreciate you guys supporting Ty like you guys would support me. Thank you very much for allowing me to warm up the show, Ty, right here with you, man. You take them home, and I'll catch you guys Undefeated at 9 a.m. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Kyle. Everyone in the Undefeated, show Kyle some love. Awesome whenever we get to start off the show together, or whenever we have that intersection wherever I might be coming on after him or he's following me, for us to get that opportunity to sit there and talk. Always an absolute treat, and it's a lot of fun for me, right? I had a blast the first time Kyle and I did content together over on Bleacher Report. And ever since that first time, we kind of tried to make it a habit to stay in contact, stay connected, stay making content, because we just have a natural back and forth, and it's a lot of fun. Undefeated. Good morning. Goofball, happy you're in here. Ty, the cowboy guy, says, Jor, you made a great point earlier about Dylan Johnson transferring in from Mississippi State, but that's exactly why I was so intrigued to go back and look at what Kalen DeBoer had done the first year he got to Washington as well. And I'm not going to attempt to say the running back's name at Washington he had before, only out of respect that I am going to absolutely butcher that last name, and I don't want to do that to the young man. But I wanted to draw distinction, and I wanted to see what he had said about his offenses and how they kind of will adapt based on the personnel. And the reason why I looked specifically at Washington is I was interested in adaptation in a very small sample size. And I know 2 years is an incredibly small sample size, but that's what I was really interested in. Right? Like, okay, well, you were here at the Power 5 level for these 2 years. What was your adaptation like? And you could see it. You could actually see it. They still had Will Nixon, a young, talented running back from right here in Texas, but Dylan Johnson got the lion's share of the carries for the Washington Huskies. Like I said, he had 233. The next closest was coming in at 44. After that, it was 33, whereas Alabama had 3 running backs go for over 100 rushing attempts. One of those, I apologize. 2 running backs go for over 100 rushing attempts. Jalen Milroe had over 100 rushing attempts as well. That is my apologies. So there is going to be some differences in the running game, in the approach of the running game. But different isn't bad. Right? I looked at multiple different things. I looked at how Alabama's run game was graded as opposed to how Washington's run game was graded. I looked at run blocking grades for Alabama as opposed to Washington's run blocking grades. And what I found was more or less the two were analogous. Right? The rushing grades were within 3 points of one another, and the run blocking grades were within about 3 points of each other. Remember, Alabama's major problem last year was pass pro. That's where they graded really poorly. Washington graded really well. So whenever you look at this, it's going to be fascinating to check out the running back usage. And we're going to dive into that on point number 2. As you can see, point number 1, as you could probably guess, you didn't know, I'm married to a teacher, right? She's a first grade teacher. So, of course, yesterday she wanted to watch some Disney movies. And so now I'm a little bit inspired, right? A whole new world. We're going to be talking about how the coaches opened up yesterday in interviews and how it is truly a whole new world for Alabama football. More access to assistant coaches, more access to the personnel, more access to the practices. It's a whole new time to be alive. Of course, next we're going into the run game differences. We've already talked about that a little bit, but I'm very excited to dive into it further. But I'm always going to leave you with something wanting a little bit more, because you need to go check out the video Coach Sean and I did. We had an absolute blast. And then we need to talk about the NCAA running out of time. Listen, this has been a hot topic for about the past month. It will continue to be a hot topic for the coming months. Why? Because the NCAA is cooked. You heard it here first. And we're going to unpack it. We have got I see the fires has burned. Yeah, man, that Texas wildfire thing is crazy. It's super far away from me, so I'm very blessed there. But I'm hoping the best. That's a lot of land out there on fire. That's a lot of open land out there as well. All right, you get a fire going out there with high winds. That's tough to stop. Real tough to stop. Thank you very much, Walt. I'm glad you enjoyed the video. Thank you for giving Coach and I the time. I always say this. Your time is an unbelievable important asset to your life. Time and health are the two most valuable things you have. And so it's not lost on me when everybody in the Undefeated spends time here interacting with us or watching content that I have put out or Coach Sean has put out. It really does mean more than I can eloquate. But let's go to point number one, because you guys know me. I'm a little bit like a goldfish. Referring to Ted Lasso, there's a reason why I'm always in an upbeat, happy mood. It's because I'm a goldfish. So if I don't police myself, we'll be all over the place. We need to talk about how it is truly a whole new world at Alabama. Yesterday, the coaches gave some interviews that I thought were fantastic. I thought Nick Sheridan gave some really cool answers. I thought Womack gave some really cool answers. Of course, hearing DeBoer talk always is great, but it really did draw a distinction to me in the differences between what we had versus what we have. And every day, it seems that this is drawn further and further into realizing things are changing, right? Things are changing at Alabama. Now, change isn't always bad. Change is constant. Change is the one thing that we can all expect. It's how do you operate within change? And personally, I think Alabama got an unbelievable staff at operating within a changing landscape. But it also goes to something that I've talked about extensively here, that I didn't want Coach DeBoer to come in here and try and be Coach Saban. Yes, Coach Saban is the GOAT. There's no arguing that. But it is going to be a failing recipe if you look at Alabama and you say, hey, I'm going to go take over after Saban, but I'm going to abandon everything that's made me successful during my coaching tenures, and I'm going to try and be Nick Saban. There's only one Nick Saban. You're going to fail tremendously if you try and do that. Now, one of the things we've talked about at length here is that you can try and learn the principalities of Saban's success. Try and learn the things that maybe made him tick and how you can integrate those things into what it is you do. That is perfectly fine, right? That's healthy. That's a very positive thing to do. And it seems to be what Coach DeBoer is doing. Studying Saban, studying what made him successful, studying the tradition and saying, how can I meld what I do with what made Nick Saban so successful? So that's the thing I love so much right now, is that he's not coming in here trying to be Nick Saban. Hate to take a shot at Brian Kelly. He's not coming in here trying to adopt a Southern accent and be something he's not. He's owning who he is. He has owned that, hey, I might not have connections in the SEC. I know that. And yeah, I know I want to bring in my guys from Washington. I have great relationships with them, but I also understand that to be successful in this league, I have to have those recruiting connections. I have to have people that understand the SEC landscape. Coach Kalen DeBoer has been self-aware through the entirety of this process. And that is an attribute that I absolutely love, and that continues. That continues. That self-awareness is just such a nice thing to see, because whenever he got here, that was something that the coaches and I talked about. If you guys remember, Coach Jance and I were sitting in there, and I asked him, I called Coach Jay Jance. You guys got to remember, Jance and I have been streaming together for, oh man, going on 2.5, 3 years. He's the first person I ever did a live stream with. And we would always get together on those Monday nights. So we have a long history. So I asked Coach Jay, What do you need to hear Kalen DeBoer say at this introductory press conference for you to feel satisfied? That was exactly what his answer was. Jance wanted him to acknowledge, hey, I might not be familiar with these landscapes here in the SEC, but you bet your bottom dollar I know that it's important and I will address it. That's exactly what he said. People talking about the wins here in the South in Alabama and Texas. Yeah, you know what's wild, guys, is the other day on Monday, or no, it was Tuesday. I was telling Coach Sean this yesterday. On Tuesday, it was 90 degrees here in Denton, Texas. Yesterday, it was 39 degrees. I've always said this about the state of Texas. You can point to me where there are states that have it hotter, and you can certainly point to me states that have it colder. The thing that makes Texas so wild to me is the major temperature swings and the lack of like intermediary seasons. You go from summer to winter a lot of the times. Like your fall is very short and can be the same with spring. So yeah, wild times. It seems like everybody's kind of experiencing some wild weather. Jermaine says, Ty, I know it was a shocker for the other fan bases to find out both our offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator have SEC ties when that was one of their loud talking points. 100%, Jermaine. 100%. 100%. Right? 100%. That's part of what I mean when I say a whole new world, right? Like over the past few days, what we have learned about Coach Shepard. We talked about the Coach Shepard interview yesterday and how he doesn't really like the term receivers. He wants his guys to be known as takers. He's not coaching receivers. He's coaching takers. One is a passive mindset. The other is an aggressive mindset. Then you get the interview with Nick Sheridan and you kind of hear him talk about his offensive philosophies, how he's excited to work with this group. I thought he gave a fantastic interview. You heard the new defensive coordinator talking about how he is sitting and talking to Nick Saban any opportunity he gets to try and learn, okay, what was your defense? Not so that he can run Nick Saban's defense. Once again, Womack is coming here to be himself, to run that 4-2-5 swarm. But if you're a defensive coordinator and you are in the same building as Nick Saban, you'd be foolish not to pick his brain. Take away football from that analogy. Let's say you who are in marketing, you who are in baking, you who are in graphic design, whatever your career field may be, now imagine that you are put in an office right next to whomever is the very best at the very top of your career field. You'd be foolish not to utilize that resource. You'd be foolish if they said, hey, you can come into my office whenever. Doors open. Come in and pick my brain. That's an unbelievable asset. That's an unbelievable resource. And to hear this new staff taking advantage of that resource, I like. Because they're always doing exactly what I've stated. They're always operating within this window that shows me, as of right now, they're interested in implementing what they do. But they can't wait to learn about what it is that made Nick Saban tick. What made you so successful? It's part of the reason why I have at least 3 Nick Saban books behind me. And I've studied him so much in terms of just trying to read about him, trying to understand his history, his interviews. I always tried to catch them because Nick Saban was an unbelievable teacher, not just a football coach. Not just a football coach. And so, yes, it's a whole new world at Alabama, but a whole new world isn't necessarily a bad thing. And I have been nothing but encouraged at the way this new staff has operated. Within all the changes, within all the chaos, this new staff has operated really well. Really well, in my opinion. They hold themselves out fantastic in these interviews. I love that they're getting more access because one of the biggest questions everybody asks about the recruiting ties. Well, one of the biggest questions is, oh, are these guys unknown? How do you get them known? You put a microphone in front of them. Let them tell their story. Let them be the narrator of the message. All right? It's going to be more effective coming from Coach Shepard than it will be from anybody else. And that's what I loved. Get him in front of a microphone. I mean, obviously, if you heard that interview, Coach Shepard is an infectious person. The way he talked about Ryan Williams, the way he talked about the guys he's worked with, the way he talked about what he expects, what he wants to do. He's infectious. Right? If you don't know, if these SEC coaches in high school don't know anything about Jamarcus Shepard, they don't know anything about Coach Shepard, that interview helps. Now they can start to paint the picture. And what you see from that interview is a guy who very clearly loves the players that he gets to mentor, that very clearly is interested in not only making them better football players, but better human beings. And that is something that is important here. Let's not be lost in that aspect. That's something Nick Saban was phenomenal at. That Muhsin Muhammad rant is a top 3 rant in sports, in my opinion. Love that rant. So that's something that made Saban so successful, and I don't want that to be lost on anybody. And it seems that that's at the forefront of this new staff. Authenticity, trying to develop young men as well as football players. And that's what I love. Let's hit some comments. So I saw one back here I really wanted to. Ty, if you ask me, seems the energy and climate is exactly where it needs to be. Kareem, I could not. I agree so much, man. I think you hit the nail on the head right here. I think you eloquated this perfectly because it really highlights, like, it's different, but different isn't always bad. And yes, Saban was very buttoned up, very corporate, very, like, almost militant. And now you're seeing another way of doing something that's values align. And that's always fascinating to me, is kind of looking at the different ways to achieve success and how there's not just one path. That's always fascinating to me, is evaluating the path to success, or as Nick Saban would so aptly put it, the process. What does your process look like? And how does it end up at the promised land, which is success? They both have the same promised land, but they have different processes. And that to me is very interesting. I love that. Saban coached Kirby, Sark, etc. He can coach DeBoer too behind the scenes, and DeBoer is already a great coach. Love that, Hood Jesus Debo. Love that comment. I like how Saban is letting them know how our opponents hold back weeks before playing us and unless new plays. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Bama has been everybody's Super Bowl for a long time. That's why Alabama lost and people stormed the field. Even if it's not some like massive out of the question upset, even if it's like good on good, Bama gets the field stormed. Why? Because it's Bama. It all starts with winning and the rest tends to help itself. 100%. That's why I have been under the theory when it comes to recruiting. Yeah, we might not know Coach Kalen DeBoer as a top 3 recruiter in the SEC. We might not know him as that yet, but the guy can develop. How many people is Washington, you guys in the undefeated, how many people is Washington sending to, first and foremost, the combine, the draft, and how many are projected in the first round and second round? I mean, it's impressive. It is very much impressive, the development that took place. That's a selling point. NIL, like, that's great. NFL money is the real money. Ty, I think we are going to be pleasantly surprised with our staff's recruiting ability, especially Womack. He's got time. And this is the thing, Cynthia. I think you hit the nail on the head. This is why y'all are the undefeated. He's so interesting to me because he is known in the SEC. These high school coaches, they know his dad. And I'm not saying that instantly makes him a great defensive mind. What makes him a great defensive mind is the great defenses he has put forward, right? Just coming from a top 25 defense in the nation where he didn't have top 25 resources, to be candid. Let's be honest here. He did a great job. That team was really, really fun to watch. They don't have top 25 resources in Division I college football. They don't. He's got that now. He's got top 5 resources. And his name is known. They know his dad. They know him. His name is known in the SEC. It'd be one thing if he was just a young, and he is, up and comer who is unknown and you're relying on what his dad did. That'd be okay. I mean, it's there, but like, what are you going to do with it? We don't have that with Kane. We know that he is known. His dad did great work with this 4-2-5 defense. Kane took it and then made it a top 15 defense in the nation in a place without top 15 assets, without top 15 resources. Yeah, you mix both of those together. I can't wait to see what he does on the recruiting trail because he's made his own name. It just helps that it's like, oh, yeah, we know you're a football family, right? We're in the South. We know what this is. Oh, you're a football family. Yeah, I knew your dad. I had a meeting with your dad. Awesome to see here. Those conversations, we know how that's going to go, right? You can just go ahead and you can put it down. Not too worried about the new staff there. And I love this, Rocket. I love this. Moon Rocka, I should have had you. I need a direct we need a little button, Moon Rocka, you and I, where I can hit it and I get your assistance because my wife and I, right, she won the debate naturally, but she kept telling me, "Oh no, I'm going to put all my winter clothes away. I'm going to take out all my spring dresses because we're going to have outside recess and it's going to be fantastic." And I kept telling her, Texas is not going away without a fight. Not this winter. Nuh-uh. Well, here we are. I can't say I told you so, but you could say it for me. Right? I don't know. Coach Shep is a player's coach. I really think our wide receiver room will be more polished under him. I cannot contain my excitement for that hire. Cannot contain my excitement for this hire. I already got my tickets to Bama, Wisconsin. That's going to be a great one. Washington is sending 13. Thank you very much, Jor. The point proven. Point proven. Washington is sending 13. Yes, it was an older team. Fully acknowledged. Fully acknowledged. Would Washington have been sending 13 under the trajectory that Kalen DeBoer inherited? No. No. I don't think there's any way. She already has, Caitlin. She already has. It gets everybody I learned. Listen, working on that ranch, I remember being out there and it'd be sleeting so hard that it felt like your face was getting cut open and you got to go out in the middle of a pasture and get a horse that does not want to be caught. It sucked. Yeah, don't miss that. Don't miss that at all. You won an argument. I don't win many, T-Shell, so you bet your bottom dollar I have to, I have to have my W's where they fit in, right? You got to have that. You got to have that. View was lit, all of them, but was my favorite. I hard to disagree there, Moon Rocka, because he gave a great interview. I loved how he talked about how he felt like he was cramming for a final exam, talking to Nick Saban, just trying to see everything like jam-packed in his mind. It was really cool. It was a really cool interview. Very excited. And with the practice right around the corner, we're about to have a lot of conversation pieces. About to have a lot of conversation pieces. Kane is probably the next Arkansas head coach after when they get rid of Sam. Maybe. I mean, that would not be a bad hire, especially if he comes in there and does a great job at Alabama. That would not be a bad hire for Arkansas. Hopefully he's at Bama for a few years. Very excited. North Dakota piled up snow till around June. We got some friends up there, Steven, in the horse industry. And yeah, they'll send pictures. And I'm like, no, thank you. No, thank you. My dad, he got his start in Nebraska, and he was telling me that whenever he was there, he was living on the ranch whenever he first got there, and he would have to tie a rope from his front door. Like he put a pole outside of his front door and he tied a rope from the front door and kept tying ropes all the way to the barn. Because if you had to go out in the middle of the night to check on some of the baby horses and it's in the middle of like a bad winter storm, you don't want to get lost. So he'd have to use the rope as your guidance to go out through the snow. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm good on that. I'm good on that. No, thank you. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm no longer on a ranch, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's dive into point number 2. We've teased it. Right. Rich says, nah, I'm over the coordinator carousel. That's why I'm not even trying to, as much as it's a really good thought, like I understand completely where they're coming from. It's 1,000% logical. Who said that comment? Because it was a really good one. Like that makes sense. Train wreck. Yeah, like that's a really good point. But I'm not even trying to speak it into existence. I'm not even trying to speak it into existence. Jor, would you say about winning? I win all mine. I just let her think she wins. That's how you really win. My man. My man. A friend in Wyoming lost his son in a blizzard trying to get to the barn. It happens. Like, people think I'm joking. When he told me that, I was like, get out of here. And he's like, no, you think I'm joking. But, like, people die in the winter out here because, like, they get lost trying to get to the barn. So we tie the rope. And I was like, well, thank God you decided to do this in Texas, where when I have to work on this ranch, I just have to worry about falling out in 115-degree heat. I don't have to worry about a blizzard. So, simple blessings, I suppose. Let's talk about this this running game, because Cynthia says, I don't know about that. Us ladies are too smart for that. You're right. But we have to have something. Ty, total rushing yards and touchdowns predicted for Jam Miller and Justice Haynes. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Shane, we're going to answer this while unpacking everything, because as I kind of started this stream out, I'm not going to tell you all the juicy details. You need to go check out the video. Coach and I spent 20 minutes not only going through every running back on roster, going through how Alabama can recruit in the future by retaining Gillespie and by having this new offensive staff, what you can expect from this new offensive staff in the running game, and the differences old staff and the new staff. We unpacked it all. 20-minute video. If you get the time, would highly recommend you checking that out. It was an absolute blast. You guys know, anytime I get to link up with Coach Sean, we talk ball. I mean, we spend a time talking ball, and it's a ton of fun. So Shane says total rushing yards and touchdowns predicted for just Jam Miller and Justice Haynes. Listen, Coach Sean predicted Justice Haynes over 1,000 yards yesterday, and I'm going to echo that. Now, I'm really interested in seeing the carry breakdown between these running backs, because one of the things that I noticed is that while Kalen DeBoer did change the way he styled his running game whenever he got access to Dylan Johnson, the year before he had a bunch of guys and the highest carry was 140. He gets Dylan Johnson. He gets someone that can really tote the rock. He gives him 233 carries, 1,200 yards, right? So, like, someone is going to have 1,000 yards, and I think Justice Haynes may be that guy, because I think he is unbelievably well-rounded. As far as Jam Miller, I think Jam Miller's going to still have, man, that's a tough one. I think he could have over 500 as well, right? Just because whenever we talk about Jam Miller's ability, all purpose, I mean, it's going to be a running back by committee room, because whenever he's had running backs that he feels like he can go more than one, he has spread the carries around. But it was interesting to note last year in particular, right? Last year, Washington had Dylan Johnson. He had 1,200 yards. At the end of the year, Washington had 411 rush attempts. Alabama had 561 rush attempts last year. So the previous 2 years since Kalen DeBoer has been at Washington, Alabama has had over 100 rushing attempts more, right? Every year than has Washington. So the run games are going to look a little bit different. Kalen DeBoer might not run at the same rate as other offensive coordinators, but then it got me into the more important question. Because I understand how many times you ran the ball. We're all Alabama fans. We want them to run the ball. It's in our DNA. We can't help it. But that's not the most important question. The most important question is, what do you do with the opportunities presented? Coach Saban talked about this all the time. How do you create value? So I was fascinated. How does Coach Kalen DeBoer create value with his rushing attempts? And what I found there really made me excited, because yes, Kalen DeBoer might not run the ball at the same clip that Alabama did over the previous 2 years, but they were very impactful runs. They averaged around the same yards per attempt that Alabama did, but they had more touchdowns per run than did Alabama. Last year, Alabama had 28 rushing or 32 rushing touchdowns on the ground. Washington had 28. Only 4 less on 150 less carries, meaning when they're running the ball, they're getting more efficient outcomes. They don't have to run the ball 150 more times to get more or less decently analogous results. Remember, same yards per carry. I think Alabama was at 4.31. Washington was at 4.33 in terms of yards per carry. So very analogous there, but they were more efficient. 28 touchdowns on 411 attempts as opposed to 32 touchdowns on 561 attempts. Right? So, yes, we want to see them run the ball. But the more important question isn't how many times are you running the ball? It's what are you doing with the opportunities? Are you generating successful outcomes with your run game? And the answer there was overwhelmingly yes. Yes, they are generating successful outcomes with his running game scheme. Excuse me. And that made me excited. All right, that made me excited. Kareem says, Jam Miller, for some reason, gives me flashes of Josh Jacobs. I think it's because Moon Rocket hit it here. Jam don't mind making catches. They're very complete in terms of, like, they are shifty backs with a ton of speed. They want to get to the outside. They like getting the ball in space. Very excited to see the running game. And that's where I say Jam is going to be so interesting, because I'm interested in not only the carries from the running backs, I'm interested in receptions. What does that look like? Because Alabama could absolutely torch teams with just their running backs and utilizing them as weapons out the backfield. It'd add another layer into this Alabama offense. It'd give Jalen Milroe a quick out. Very excited about that. Very excited about that. So the run game, there are going to be differences. Alabama has rushed the ball over 100 times more. Both years Washington had Kalen DeBoer as the head coach than did Washington. But I would like to highlight this one more time before we move on. It's less about the number of carries you got and more about what did you do with the number of carries you got. Were you generating successful outcomes with the opportunities you got? And the answer for Washington was yes, to the tune of 4.33 yards per attempt and 28 touchdowns. So I am excited to see the running game. And the one thing I will say, I don't want to dive too deep into it because I want y'all to check out this video. Retaining Gillespie is massive, because he gets to go to Kalen DeBoer and say, hey, we talked about how you switch up your offense based on the personnel. Well, we got a ton of great personnel in this running back room, and I understand how each and every one of them can fit into your personnel and fit into your scheme. I understand how my personnel fits into your scheme. And it does wonders for Alabama recruiting into the future. Turbo Rogers in the class, excited to see what they're able to do with maybe a Bo Jackson. The running back is no doubt a position we are going to watch closely, see what they do. Good morning, Janet. Thank you for joining us on this Thursday morning. So, Caitlin, what's interesting is Alabama went 2 years without a 1,000-yard rusher or receiver. And that's like not normal. So I don't expect to make 3. I don't expect to make it 3 years. It is more important these days that running backs are more all-purpose than just running alone. That's more of what the NFL is looking for. Yeah, the NFL is changing, and I do think that it is. Coach Sean and I talked about this the other day. I do think that it is a massive positive whenever you get to say, hey, I don't have 10,000 miles on my legs by the time you get to the NFL. Because the NFL, we talked about this yesterday, they try and devalue all picks, but they really try and devalue the running backs. It is sickening what they do to running backs in that league. Absolutely sickening. Yeah, it's not happening 3. It's not happening 3. I was going to be beating the table. It wasn't happening 3 years, even if we still had Tommy Rees and all them. It's for sure not happening with this new staff. Bet your bottom dollar on that. I would be shooketh, beside myself, downright downtrodden. I don't know. I'm just trying to find adjectives at this point. So the running game is going to have differences, but this is what I want all Alabama fans to know. Just because something looks different doesn't mean that it can't be successful. And what Kalen DeBoer did at Washington was generate very successful outcomes, even though he didn't have as many opportunities. But that's why I keep highlighting it's not about how many opportunities you have. It's about what do you do with the opportunities given. Good morning, Jay. Happy you're here with us on this Thursday morning. Enjoying the time. A lot to talk about. And we get into the last topic for today. NCAA is out of time. So I talked about this earlier in the week. I think the NCAA is cooked. I do. If we look at the injunction that was granted late last week that basically says you can't enforce NIL, that's not good. Then you look at the NCAA asking Congress to do something, but Congress isn't going to be inclined to do something because it's not like the NCAA is some popular entity that either the Republican Party or the Democratic Party would look at and say, hey, fixing you grants me popularity within my voting base. That's not happening for either party. So it's not like they're going to be inclined to do anything that's not like self-serving in terms of their election process. So where does that leave the NCAA? Well, it means that you have to hope for the courts to solve your problems, because the NCAA has shown us they're not going to solve their own issues. They created this by sitting out and being passive. They created this issue. So what is the NCAA going to do? Well, it's interesting. We had the injunction happen last week. We have the NCAA begging Congress. Now we know that they're going to have to try and hope for a superior court to overturn this injunction. We also know that in 2025, we have really impactful cases such as House, such as Johnson coming down the pipe that will change the structure of the NCAA. But this week, there are apparently meetings happening. And you have these conferences discussing their futures within the NCAA structure. And it's fascinating to me because it's apparent that both the Big Ten and the SEC are trying to posture themselves in positions of power if something is to change within the structure of college football. They're posturing themselves to be able to be Goliaths in an uncertain landscape. Basically, what I'm saying is that if the NCAA is to fall by the wayside, the Big Ten and the SEC are making it to where they can still stand. Though the other conferences may topple, they're making sure they have the legs to stand on. What does that look like? Does it mean more expansion? Does it mean more TV media rights deals? Well, they already have enough of that, right? Two highest paid conferences in all of football, Big Ten and the SEC. What we do know, though, is that the NCAA is reeling. And whenever all of this started, I got asked the question that I've been asked so many times over the past 2 years. Ty, what does this mean for the future of the NCAA? What does this mean for the future of college football? And so many times over the past 2 years, I would say, hey, this means something is changing. But the NCAA has been an organization that has managed to live, and they've lived through a lot. So the NCAA, as much as I don't like them, they'll probably be an entity that will continue trying to figure out how to live. If you ask me right now, Ty, what does this mean for the future of the NCAA? I sing a very different tune. And understand that we always knew this was coming. That was always apparent. But whenever you have an industry, whenever you have something that is so upheld on greed, you would think that survival would be their number one concern. You can't make money if you're not able to survive. And that's where I underestimated the NCAA, ladies and gentlemen. I thought that the NCAA would be self-serving enough to do the bare minimum only to survive. It turns out they're not. Turns out they're not even putting in that level of effort. They're not even trying to survive at this point. They're reeling. The future of the NCAA is in question, and to be very honest, I don't think that there's going to be an NCAA to answer to within the next decade. Things are evolving rapidly. We went from having no NIL to NIL, conferences moving, a conference falling in the Pac-12, and now you have an injunction. You have 2 states opening suit against the NCAA, and you have 2 cases already on the docket for 2025 attacking the NCAA's antitrust structure and asking, can former athletes be entitled to back pay? All the while, Dartmouth's basketball team is told they can unionize, which goes against a 2018 or 2019, I apologize for not remembering the date off the top of my head, court case that stated student athletes are not employees. Well, that's changing and changing rapidly. And it seems like every week something changes even more rapidly. So the NCAA is on borrowed time, and they have nobody to blame but themselves. It was their greed, it was their lack of foresight, and their inability to see what was happening right in front of them. And that's the part that I underestimated, ladies and gentlemen. I could not have ever thought that their greed would have superseded their will to survive. Because it seems only logical that you cannot be greedy if you're not there to survive. They didn't care about that. They didn't care about that. So, can't wait to see what the next 5 years gives us. Going to be incredibly fascinating. Let's hit some comments. The NCAA has done less than the bare minimum in regards to both NIL and the transfer portal tie. And this is interesting, Kevin. So I got to talk on last Thursday, actually, a week ago. I got to talk with some friends. I got to hop on their podcast, and I had a great time doing so. But one of the guys I was speaking to, he actually runs an NIL company. So he works with and around the NCAA, with and around different collectives, works with and around different athletes, you name it. You name it, he has his hand in the pie for NIL, which is how I have kind of an in-depth look on how this NIL stuff is going down. It's because I'm an inquisitive person. I sat down with this guy about a year ago, and I took 2 hours of his time. I took my notebook, and I took notes for 2 hours on how NIL is operating in the back burner. What he told me is it doesn't make sense. And this is out of his mouth. He said it is basically an ego contest in the background. People are just trying to prove how much money they have. Or at least that's how it's currently operating in some capacities in terms of NIL. And granted, this was when NIL first came about, so about a year and a half ago. But one of the things that he told me, Kevin, that really stuck with me, everybody wanted to know why the NCAA did the stuff with the pictures. So what he told me is, he's like, everybody's talking about that, and I get it, because with all the problems in college football, it seems absurd that that's where their focus is. He said, but that was something that the schools were constantly asking for. Maybe not all of the schools, but he said so many people in and around recruiting that he would talk to would say, hey, we don't want to do that because we have to decorate all these hotel rooms. We don't want to have to do that every single time. We don't want to have to get all the cookie cakes. We don't want to have to do all of this. The NCAA can then say, okay, if you don't want that, we can make a rule and make it to where you can't do that. The problem is the NCAA went so long without doing anything towards NIL or the transfer portal that it's not like they can just do a stroke of the pen and fix the transfer portal or NIL without ending up in court. They tried to police what they deemed to be illegal activities in NIL, in recruiting, stemming from the University of Tennessee. They are getting sued because of it. Now they have an injunction coming in that says they can't police any NIL guidelines. So people, and I get it because I was one of those people. Whenever the NCAA did that with the no pictures, no decorating the hotel room, I was like, why in the world would y'all do that? That's so stupid. And when I talked to this guy, he was like, no, I get it. From an optics perspective, it is dumb. Like, there are glaring issues in the sport, and that's what you're focusing on. He said, but the thing is they can't fix the other issues. They can't fix the transfer portal or NIL right now, because when they tried to police Tennessee, now they're getting sued. And now an injunction. So it is a mess. It is an absolute mess. Patriot Life, my man. Gifted 5 Bama football on YouTube with Kyle Henderson memberships. Patriot Life, thank you so much. You did this not only today, you did this yesterday as well. So I can't thank you enough for all the gifted memberships, Patriot Life. That means the world to us over here. That's awesome. Thank you very much, not only for the gifted memberships, but for your time. Thank you for your time over here. And for those of you that ended up with those gifted memberships, if you're one of them, be sure to remember Patriot Life, what he's been able to do for the channel, the interaction he gives us, and this right here. Thank you so much for that, Patriot Life. That's awesome. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Greg said Alabama spends. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. Does every day. He's the man. Yeah, I saw him do it yesterday, and I wanted to give him his flowers for that, because I know I talked about it a bit yesterday, but we were flowing in conversations, and so doing it back-to-back days while I'm on. Thank you very much, Patriot Life. Caitlin with the 1999 Roll Tide coaches and our awesome tie. Thank you so much, Caitlin. Thank you for the support. Your interaction here is awesome, right? You can't tell you, and I say this all the time, but I can't tell y'all how much the interaction means in terms of donations, in terms of time spent, in terms of subs, all of that. Thank you so much, Caitlin. That's very, very nice. And your support, your interactions makes it a lot easier to do my job, right? A whole lot easier to do my job. Thank you, Ty. I love the content, what you bring. Congrats on the new members. Enjoy. And yeah, thank you so much, man. And I love you being around here. You guys, whenever you guys even comment, man, like that gives me ideas as well on like direction to take the content. And now it's starting. Dwight gifted 5 Bama football on YouTube memberships with, oh man, the word salad is coming out. This is what happens when you're live for more than an hour. You start fumbling. Let me retry this, right? Dwight gifted 5 Bama football on YouTube with Kyle Henderson memberships. Dwight, my man, thank you so much for the support. Patriot Life and Dwight with the 5 gifted subs. Caitlin with the 1999. Thank you guys very much for all the support, for the time, for everything. Kyle, man, you're coming back in here as we're talking about the NCAA being absolutely cooked. What do you think about it?
Yeah, well, first of all, yeah, I mean, it's great to see. One of the things that makes me so happy is so 2 things. Number 1 is when I get to interact with the undefeated or take calls and talk Alabama football, right? Like be with the community and do what we do here on Bama football on YouTube. But what's also amazing is to see, like, to come on here and to see how the undefeated also supports our content creators. I was just looking at the analytics from this past February, which is a very difficult month for content creators, honestly. Like, it just is. Like, you're going into spring football, but it's usually kind of a downtime, you know, whatever. And you make your kind of peaks and lows. And I've said this a million times. You literally support us on Bama football on YouTube, like all of you right here. And when I step away, and I'm doing other things around the business, and I come back and I see super chats to our staff, or I see fan funder memberships, you know, or gift, or people who have just became fan funders organically. I love it. You know, it tells me that the process is working, that people like the overall value of what they're getting. So we're always working on different things, and we appreciate you guys being here. And I know, you know, we've had to, you know, navigate through these last, 50 days together. And it's been great. You know, Kareem Hood pops on, man. And he's like, what the heck? I feel good today. The undefeated is awesome. Love it. Yeah. Thursday's right before Feel Good Friday. So appreciate you.
Dropping the $10 dono.
Yeah. And what's crazy is by this time next week, as I said earlier, I didn't even think about that, Ty, but we'll have 2 practices to be chewing on.
I don't even know what I'm going to do with actual information, like, to talk about.
Right? I know, like actual like footage that is, kind of rolling through, and stuff that we can stop, rewind, look at. And because, come Wednesday, I mean, just like, so Monday you have footage in terms of Coach Kalen DeBoer, right? And that's just a press conference. But then on Wednesday, we get access to like be at practice and basically like film everything Besides, I think up in between like the 11 on 11s. And then after when practice ends, we just go up and just, no more 5-minute clips of stretching. But we're just going to be able to go up to the coaches afterwards. They'll like break them out and you'll be able just to interview them. So I can't even imagine all the media right now loading up and making sure that they're ready for Wednesday, because I would like you. I don't like. So how this works is you get behind like the practice door and then they let you out. And there's probably like 100 people with cameras and they just go everywhere and they see everything. We used to do this before COVID and then they shut it down. So, now we're back. And I think that's how it's going to be, during the season, which is dope. So we'll see. But, Rich B, what's up, man? Yeah, always be top bartenders. That's what's up, man. We appreciate you being here, Rich B. Ty, give him a shout out, man.
Man, 100%. Rich B saying always tip your bartenders. And this is true, right? This is true.
100%.
I had a bunch of fraternity brothers who were bartenders, and I can tell you right now, you give that bartender a tip, especially at a college bar, your single shot will turn into a double real quick.
And the other thing, too, is that here's like a bar trick, too. If you go with friends and you're hanging out and you're having a good time, you're letting your hair down, whatever, always buy the first round. Literally, that's a pro tip, honestly. Like, buy the first round. And, what's up, Jay Townsend? Good morning to you, man. Rich B, I appreciate you. And Jay Townsend's good morning, Kyle. Good morning to my undefeated family. Can't wait to see you guys at A-Day. Roll Tide. And I know you guys are going to be posted up in your gear on A-Day as well. Hey, T, can you just turn down like this, the lighting? Just maybe make it a little bit more warm. Sure. Let's try the temperature. Yeah. Let's see how that works out.
50. I'll tell you a funny story real fast, Kyle, that my dad told me, right?
Yeah.
So when my dad was in college, he was in a band, right? Now, ironically enough, right, he was in a band from high school. One of the guys he was in high school with, they went to college together. They continued that at college. But one of the guys went in high school when he was in a band was Hal Ketchum. He was in a band with Hal Ketchum up in upstate New York. For those old school music fans, you know exactly who that is, right? But his advice to me was always this when he got to college. He said, Ty, if you're going to play in a band, play as late in the night as you can, where everybody is so drunk that they're going to think you're so good that they're going to ask you to come back. And that's how he paid for a lot of his college. So fun times. Kareem Hood with the $10. This is just turning into a landslide right now.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, I love it. When undefeated gets heated, they get popping for sure. And I love to see it because what I've realized too is like one super chatter kind of gets the party started. It's like the lighting of the torch, and then you start going. Caitlin, we are looking. I don't know why you can't gift, and then Moonrocker, he's going to email us because he said he can't sign up, and T has just joined us. T.
Hey, so Caitlin, I don't know if you have only tried gifting on your phone or if you tried on a laptop, but sometimes gifting on a phone is a little bit more complicated. And wow, thank you, Jay Townsend. Did that just come in?
Yeah, they came. I'm just kind of running through them real quick. Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, I just came in, so I haven't seen all these. So if you try from a laptop, it's a little bit easier to gift. But if you continue to have trouble, just email us and I'll put that up on the screen. Yeah,
and honestly, we don't have a lot of time, but we have definitely walked through.
Yeah, we've walked a couple of people through it.
Yeah, we've walked through, and like some weird stuff has happened. Like we've been able to like navigate through some of that. So email us and that's a good starting spot. Yeah. Ty, so I appreciate you being here, man, and running it through this morning. I know you're probably going to be watching the NFL Combine. I'm putting it on. We have a TV here, and I'm going to be putting the Combine on as well back here. But yeah, good stuff, man. Always great content. Any kind of closing thoughts, as you round out your segment here, Ty?
Man, I'm there's a lot going on. It feels like it's the end of February, but you can just kind of feel like there's a lot of stuff that's about to pop, from recruiting to answers of questions, spring football, the NCAA, and that I'm waiting for the pop, man. I'm ready for the pop.
Yeah, me too, man. I can't wait to get there, and only days away. until actual spring ball. So this is probably like the most highly anticipated spring ball that we've had in quite some time. So can't wait to get there. We're just kind of days away. So stay with us, fam, and we'll keep you posted, man. But great segment, Ty. Always crushing it right here on Bama Football on YouTube.
Thank you very much. Undefeated, thank you for having me. Kyle, as always, thank you for the opportunity. Taylor in the background, best producer there is, killing it with just keeping us all accountable, right? Killing it with the graphics, killing it with the topics, killing it with the transitions, you name it, makes our job really, really easy to where I don't even have to think half the time. I just sit there and talk. And you know what? It's probably better I don't think. I think that's probably good for all parties involved. So thank you to everybody. I will see you all tomorrow. And until then, as always, roll Tide.
All right. Appreciate you, Ty. Thank you so much for being here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Ty Hayes of Around the Table Sports does a great job. T?
Yeah, gotta love Ty's gas ups. He's the best at it.
No, you know who also gasses up well is Meryl.
Oh, Meryl does too. Yeah.
Meryl can gas up. Yeah, so we appreciate you guys being here. These are Ty's topics. I'm going to get some just general B-roll loaded up. What is B-roll in the biz? B-roll is just basically, stock footage that we have, and I just I need to see football. I need to see like practice highlights, and kind of gets me excited about the season or whatever. So I'm gonna put some of that on. But interesting enough, though, I went to go look at my B-roll, and looks like my B-roll is gone.
Oh no.
Yeah. So yeah, because I had all the practice highlights, but maybe because yesterday when I was publishing that running backs video, my computer said I need to delete files. So I think that
did you empty your trash already?
Yeah, I emptied the trash. Took out the trash. It's Thursday.
Yeah, it is Thursday.
All right, cool. Well, we'll navigate through it. But I appreciate you guys. Give me something. Or you can put me full screen with the call line. And by the way, the call line number is open, by the way. The call line is, my name is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. And what I'm asking today is, I want to continue. And we started this last night. What's up, Coach Sean? I see you inside the comment box. The wheels are still, as Coach likes to say it. Rich, is there any footage of Austin Mack out there? Not yet, but there will be on Wednesday. So just wait, and we'll definitely post that footage as soon as we get it. And I'm sure that Alabama will probably post footage on Monday after their first practice, but media will be able to actually be at practice on Wednesday. So we'll have like our cameras and different things that we will add to the slate on Wednesday. So as I wanted to continue to discuss going forward was basically, kind of ranking these positions. And again, the call-in line, there's one with the call-in line, T.
So okay. Let me find it.
Yeah. But when I was kind of like talking about each position, we ended up and we stopped at the running back position. So we still got a lot of positions to kind of go over. And what we were doing was kind of a ranking system of the actual positions. And I think that we'll continue discussing with the tight ends to start out the show. And so the ranking system is 10. You're the most excited. And that, 1 is kind of the lowest or an area that needs improvement. And we'll start with tight end and we'll kind of work our way down. And again, the call line is open, 205-850-1994. So with the tight end room, what excites me, is a couple things. So you have a tight end room that is experienced. You have CJ Dupree coming back. Danny Lewis, who we haven't really discussed that much, or really hasn't. I mean, we haven't even seen him post really on social media, whatever. But he's another big, imposing running back. You had Jay Lindsey, who joins the class of 2024. He's a freshman. And you have Caleb Odom, who looks like is transitioning from tight end to wide receiver. And you also have another tight end who's an H-back in Robbie Oots. So based on the players that let's start there, fam. The tight end room. What are you excited about? And how would you rate this group? 10 being absolutely elite. 8, good. 6, kind of you need more information. 2, not interested. So I'm asking you about the tight ends, and I think we got just another super chat just came in from James Anderson. James, what's up, man? Appreciate you. Thank you very much for supporting the content right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I really appreciate it. We'll get a super chat leaderboard added in just a minute. We've had an overwhelming amount of super chats this morning, and I appreciate you guys supporting the product right here on Bama Football on YouTube. James Anderson with the 20 spot this morning. Thank you very much. We really, really appreciate you. So kind of waiting for the tight ends. I mean, I think that when you have this tight end room that has experience, I'm curious to see how they are utilized. Now, CJ Dupree, I think, is a balanced type tight end. Looks like we're getting some 8s, some 7 or 8s. Yeah, I think probably like a solid 7. I don't know. Yeah, in Rich, you took the words right out of my mouth. I think it's a 7 because from a tight end standpoint, I think they are impactful tight ends. I think they're balanced tight ends, but I don't know if there's like a game-changing tight end in that group with Caleb Odom moving to wide receiver. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just could work out schematically where it just fits the system more. Now, shoot, I mean, tight ends can be used in a variety of ways. Heavy packages inside the red zone. When you go in the 12 personnel, use as an extra blocker, whatever it is. And I like the tight ends that Alabama has. I just don't know if it's like an 8 or a 9. And that's just my personal opinion. Maybe that will change. I do like the fact that we will get an opportunity to see Danny Lewis because I think for whatever reason we forget about him, but he started last A-Day. He was like a starting tight end. 260 as a tight end. He's like 6'5", monster. CJ Dupree, dependable. Played in over 500, 600 snaps last season for Alabama. So asking about the tight end room. Call line is open. 205-850-1994 is the call line number. I appreciate you guys being here this morning on Bama Football on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. And let me know where you guys are watching from right here on Bama Football on YouTube. We have a merch update, T? Yeah. All right. We'll get that up right now. And
Caitlin's picture to it. So.
Yeah, and I think if you add it as an overlay, you can just kind of pop it on and pop it off. Cool. So here we go. So here are our fan funders right here. Oh yeah, Caitlin looks great. She got the Is This Live? That's what's up. Yeah.
I think she ordered the Undef too, but she said it hasn't arrived yet.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll come. I love that undefeated hat. The black.
Yeah,
I
like the black and white one. I think we didn't get that one. We got the Is This Live one like that.
Yeah.
I like the Undef one. We need one of those too.
I do. And I like we have the Undef hat. Do we have one of those?
Yeah, we do downstairs. I can go grab it in a second.
Yeah, I'll wear it if we have it.
Yeah.
And then we have the Is This Live. I thought it'd be so funny to have the Is This Live, the mug, as I'm doing the show.
Yeah, I love that.
All right, cool. Awesome. Looks great, guys. Thank you very much for supporting the product right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Call line is open, 205-850-1994. T, okay? Did not see it. All right, let's dive into the wide receiver room. So when you look to Alabama's wide receivers, and again, the scale is 10, that it's completely elite, 1 that you need more information, or straight garbage. So with the wide receiver room, there's so many guys, right? We've showed the board before. Kendrick Law, Kobe Prentice, Emmanuel Henderson. Those guys are kind of the household names. You added Jeremy Bernard. You have some freshmen jumping on board. Jalen Hell, a guy that everybody's excited to see. I'm watching some NFL Combine stuff taking place today. You have linebackers and defensive linemen today. Chris Broswell, Dallas Turner, and Justin Mbogbe. We'll have more information as stuff comes in. But what do you think about the wide receivers? Grade it on a scale of 10 to 1 overall. You think it's one of the stronger units? I think when I look to the wide receivers, I really want to kind of another thing too is the spotlight on Jeremy Bernard. How does he compare with Kendrick Law? Because from what I gather, those two players are very similar, which is exciting. I think that nines. See, so Janet, what's up? Good morning to you. I see you as well. Marshall, what's up? Cynthia, good morning to you. Marqueta, what's up? What's amazing is that that's what's up. See, this is a undefeated hat. Should I rock this? What I think about the wide receiver room is, I mean, there's so many guys, and I think when you look to like position battles, I mean, I certainly think there's going to be a lot of position battles for the wide receiver room. I think one guy that I'm also curious to see is, Emmanuel Henderson, just because he didn't get opportunities last year. And then I guess, the fact that we have now Caleb Odom, who is going for wide receiver, right? So, all right, I'm going to put the hat on. 1 second. One second, friend. It's a snapback. 1 second. All right. Appreciate it.
Yeah, one more sticker.
All right. I'm back. I got to get leveled up. Yeah? All right. Cool. We're rocking the undefeated now. Emmanuel Kyle Cousins. Yeah, I like it. I like this hat. Right? I'm really particular with my hats. Do we like?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
It's still got the sticker on the top.
Oh, okay. Kyle takes Kyle 5 minutes to put on a hat. Oh yeah.
He's got to get it right.
I got to get it right. Yeah, this is marketing.
Yeah, it's got to look perfect. Yeah, I love this hat.
Yeah, I like it too. So for any of our merch that you can go into the bottom of these videos, and you can, I think this is like one of the scores.
Yes,
because
sure.
you could just rock it like the undefeated, and it stands out. I know like we've kind of gone back and forth about like the text color, but I actually like it this way because I think it stands out.
Oh yeah, I mean I definitely like it like that as well, with the red instead of the crimson. Right, I think so. And then I know that on some of the shirts on there, like for a black shirt, obviously the black text doesn't work out. We didn't have control over that at first, but I think we figured it out where I can add some more options for you guys if you want to get a darker color. Yeah.
All right.
And here is the merch link.
Here is the merch link. All right, we appreciate it. All right, we got It looks like we have Chris from New Jersey and Jay Townsend calling in. We'll go Chris in New Jersey right now. Hey, Chris, what's up, man? Good morning to you. I appreciate you calling in. Thanks for joining the show. Good morning.
Kyle, this is a little strange. I usually follow Mike. I hope he's not. I hope he's okay. I hope he's not in the hole.
Yeah, sometimes
I hope he's not in the hole for being obtuse.
Yeah, I think that, obtuse. He's like, what did you call me? That's the warden from Shawshank. And he's like, obtuse. And he was like, I wouldn't mention anything that happened here at Shawshank in terms of the financial implications. And he's like, and that's when he gives Andy Dufresne the hole. And he gives him the hole for 30 days, but then he comes back and he gives him another 30 on top of it. So, man, the warden, that guy. But see, one of the best parts of that movie, and maybe Mike, I don't know, I'm not encouraging anything to happen, behind bars at Austin, but, it was impactful when he was able to get that record player, and then he played the record player of the two Italian ladies singing. Chris, remember this? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I love Shawshank. It's been a minute. We need it.
Oh, love it.
And it's like always on. Is it still on like TBS all the time, or is this too old?
It used to be on like once a week, right?
It was like every day. It was basically like the Christmas Story.
Yeah.
But like TBS, but like all the time. Yeah.
Two movies you have to watch: Goodfellas, and Shawshank.
Look, Goodfellas, that's probably my favorite movie. So I love Goodfellas. I love Casino. I love Gangs in New York. I love, of course, Gladiator, Saving Private Ryan. Honestly, and I really like the new Top Gun as well. But those are kind of like some of the movies that I feel, those are like the good movies. One of this is, okay. So a lot of people probably don't even know that this movie exists, okay? But It's a classic gangster flick, and it takes place in California. But it's blood in, blood out.
Oh yeah.
Bound by honor. All right. And it's basically about, East Los Angeles, and there's a lot that goes into it. But anyways, like those are like the staple movies. But anyways, Chris, welcome to the show this morning. You have the NFL Combine taking place. You have Chris Broswell, you have Dallas Turner, you have Justin Ebogbe doing their thing. You have spring football just on the horizon. Coach Kalen DeBoer has been outspoken to the media. Everybody has been getting a chance to speak with him. Wherever you want to start, man. Take it away, man.
First, I'll go. One little minor thing. I don't care about dating myself, but I don't think my wife's too happy about it. But our first date, we went to see Goodfellas in the movie theater. That was our first date, Kyle.
Yep.
All right. So NFL.
Hold on. My one of the best scenes in Goodfellas, and really in all of like movie maybe history. Okay, and this is a huge scene, is basically where he takes her on a date, and they kind of go, the restaurant scene, and they go behind the restaurant, and then they get and she was like
the Copacabana.
Exactly. And he's giving out basically hundreds to, the security guard, the guy at the door. He's like, don't you guys ever work? And then they go up to the front, they go behind the kitchen, and they get to the door, and the last gatekeeper sees who it is, Henry Hill, right? And he was like, come here. And he sits him at the table, puts this thing down. They put 2 candles on the top, and they just sit him down. And she was like, what do you do for work? And he's just like, what does he say? He's like, I'm
a union delegate.
Yeah, he's like, I'm a union delegate in construction. She's like, your hands feel soft. So, but one of the best parts, and actually, before we move forward, there was a recruit that committed to Colorado years and years ago. That actually did. Remember when players would announce where they were committing to? He did, like, they had like movie scenes. This was like a thing. He did that, and
Kyle, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, who gave me the Christian, New Jersey, Alabama robe for Christmas.
Yeah,
they came into their wedding on that song.
Thank you.
Just like going through the and they got married at this cool place in Jersey City called Batello, which is right on the waters. You know, everybody's like, what's the best view in the city? Yeah, the one in New Jersey looking at the city. The people in the city, they look at New Jersey. Who wants to do that? You know?
Yeah. And then on the last one,
so funny.
Yeah, is the and one of the best scenes, we're on Goodfellas here, but one of the best scenes as well is towards the end where kind of everything is crumbling. And you have Eric Clapton's song, what is it, Layla, kind of the exit outro, the piano exit, right? I feel like
when the bodies are turning up.
Yeah, exactly. But I guess we could just do like a movie, segment. I like specifically around. Someone mentioned Bronx Tales. That's a good one as well. Has anyone seen The Warriors? The Warrior. That's pretty old, but it's about like these like group of gangs inside of New York City, and like how they have to, like, I don't know. It's a older movie in the 80s, but it's pretty good. Chris, what else you got, man? Let's you got any?
So all right, so real quick, NFL Combine. Yeah. I'm gonna go out. I've said it to you. I think the Kool-Aid's gonna have the biggest career in the NFL. That's my opinion. Mm-hmm. We will see. I think the reason why he didn't, people weren't talking about Kool-Aid because, just like the offensive lineman, it doesn't get spoken about because he's doing his job every single play. So I think he's going to be either the first or second DB taken. No offense to Terry and Arnold, but I think Kool-Aid is built for the NFL, and I think he's got big things coming to him. So, and all right, so let's switch real fast because I'm getting all pumped up for spring practice. I don't think in all my years I've ever been more excited for one player than Ryan Williams. And I know he's not going to be here for the spring, but I am, and that, that the Shepard interview, I think this coaching staff is even more excited than we are, Kyle.
Yeah. I think when you look at a player like Ryan Williams, it's so easy to get excited for any of these freshmen to come on board. But hearing the comments from Coach Kalen DeBoer talking about the fact that he can grasp things schematically so quickly brings you to the fact that, like, you can't wait to get him here to see what he can do in this offense. the more creative they are, I think the more he's going to shine. I think he's just one of those players that has it. This wide receiver room already stacked. I mean, I just asked the Undefeated about the wide receivers, and everybody's pumped up about the wide receivers room. And we don't even have an opportunity to see Ryan Williams because he won't be in spring football. But just think when he gets added to that group, it's only going to bolster it even more. So yeah, I mean, in terms of like the overall value, super excited about Ryan Williams. And then on Kool-Aid, look, Kool-Aid is a guy that I don't think it's interesting because when you look to Kool-Aid, did he have his best season, or were people just not challenging him? Were they challenging more of Terry and Arnold? Either way, those guys I think are going to be impactful corners in the NFL. Toughest position to play in all of college football. We've discussed that many times. But yeah, Kool-Aid, he has it. And I would love someone from like Pinson Valley right here in Birmingham to be able to, go to the NFL. Another guy that I think, he has a lot of playmaking. And I'm curious to see like where his ceiling is. And I want to see him in the combine, honestly. But interviews, things like that, the guy's great. And I think you saw his maturity grow as he was at Alabama, and yeah, excited to see it, man. But I appreciate you calling in, Chris. Thanks so much for
Kyle. One last thing. I apologize.
Yeah, no,
because sometimes I actually have to do some work, and so sometimes I have to mute the channel out. Which I'd be on here all day if I didn't have to work. I mean, too bad. But what's the coverage for the first practice, and are they letting you in there? I'm sorry, I missed that, so I apologize.
No, but, I got
you. So thanks again. Great job. Roll Tide, and we'll talk soon.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. All right, Chris from New Jersey. Jay, I'll get to you in just a second. So this is how spring football is going to work. So next Monday is the first Alabama football practice. We can go see Coach Kalen DeBoer's press conference. It should pretty much just be like Coach Saban's press conference. I don't know the length of how long he will speak. Usually Coach Saban was like 8 to 12 minutes and then out. I don't know. Some coaches like Nate Oates speaks for like 25 minutes. It's really up to the coach himself. We will have that right here on Bama Football on YouTube, and we'll be streaming, and then we'll just go into that, and then we'll also recut it for everybody to watch. Now, in terms of actually watching practice, there are 3 practices that the media is available to watch like at practice. Besides, you just can't film the 11-on-11 stuff, but we'll be able to see that on Wednesday. And then following Wednesday, we will have the assistant coaches from the defensive side as well as defensive players. And then on Friday, we'll be able to get there at the end of practice and be able to interview the offensive players and offensive coaches. So completely different format. We're new to it as well. So just stay with us and we'll get a better fluid. And then after that, you'll go on spring break. We'll still have our show during spring break. It'll be, we'll decide, it'll probably be like this format, like in February, like the morning and the afternoon. And then we'll go back to spring football, which will start again on March 19th, concluding on April 13th with A-Day. And then also on March 20th, you have Pro Day here at the University of Alabama. So we're about to get ramped up. So be sure to hit the notification button and look for all of our just naturally uploaded videos or our shorts, because we have a ton of videos coming your way right here on Bama Football on YouTube. We go to the phone lines. We got Jay calling in from Round Rock, Texas. Hey, Jay, thank you so much for joining us. First of all, man, thank you very much for the 50 spot, for continuing to support us right here on Bama Football on YouTube. We understand that we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. Thank you for supporting the merch. We can't wait to see you for A-Day, and welcome on into the show. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're off to a great start this morning.
Hey, my pleasure, Kyle. Hey, Kyle, when was the last time you heard from Mike?
Man, it kind of sometimes during Thursdays they have him on complete lockdown from what I've heard. So, sometimes he can't get to his phone or whatever on Thursdays. Maybe he can sneak out of call. I don't know. He asked for a stone. What was it? He's doing like chess pieces, like one of those stone rocks. Or a sharpening tool. So we sent him that. I don't know what it's for, but yeah, we'll keep you posted on Free Mike.
Well, the next time you talk to him, give him my apology, because I might have got him put in lockdown. I tried to go out there to see him, and I was going to smuggle him some Playboy magazines in there, and they caught me and they turned me around, so they might have him in lockdown for that.
Yeah, and Joris saying rock hammer, that's what it was. And Red's like, well, what is a rock hammer? And he was like, well, it's for sharpening stones for chess. Rock hammer. Thanks, Jor. Appreciate you.
I tried to disguise him in a candy box, but they opened it, and so that he might be in lockdown today. I went out there this morning, and they turned me around, told me I couldn't come back to visit him. But anyway, on Chris, I was just listening to Chris, and he was talking about Kool-Aid. Now, my opinion on Kool-Aid, I think he has the most to prove, and not because he's not good, but, you know, sometimes being good, they go away from you, and that made Terrion Arnold shine. And my opinion about Terrion, I don't think he really should perform at the. I think he should back out of the, you know, and not perform at the combine, because if he have a bad combine, right now his stock is way up. Okay, everybody's talking about him right now.
100%.
I would say he probably would be the first, you know, DB that go rather than Kool-Aid. But you know, I was a little bit hard on him after. I mean, the first year when we went and we played when we played Tennessee. You remember that kid made the NFL. Yeah. Based on catching all of those passes over Terrion.
Hyatt.
You know? Those Hyatt. 5 TDs, all of them went over Terrion. You know. And then the next year he redeemed himself, and he was outstanding. He was actually my favorite player on the team this year.
Hell yeah.
And I think he's going to do well in the NFL, but if I was him, I mean, my stock is already up. I think I would back out of that.
Yeah.
And as far as you were asking about the tight ends, we didn't use our tight ends nearly enough last year. I think they'll be used this year. That's why I gave them a 7.5. And once I see them perform, and I think they're going to be good. And as far as the wide receivers, well, the takers, okay?
Yeah, taker. I like that.
I think they're going to really be good. And I was reading yesterday, LaMarcus Shepard. That's just, you know, I read on him. He's really, really high on Ryan Williams, and he says that Ryan Williams, with his desire to be a sponge and take in all the information, he said he won't be there during the spring, but then when he comes during the summer, he see him being an instant impact on that team. So, you know, a lot of people think that he won't get playing time because he's a freshman, but because of his eagerness to learn, I think he's going to see some playing time, and he's going to shine next year.
Yeah, and I think when talking about Ryan Williams, remember, Jay, like, if we rewind to like even the beginning of the month, remember we had a call about, you know, kind of, it was like worrisome if the whole thing with like the offensive coordinator was going to impact him. But now that we're almost 28 days removed from that, look at where we are from a mindset standpoint. And I think one of the things that tells us is that the philosophy of Coach Kalen DeBoer's overall offense was a huge selling point for Ryan Williams. And I think that those two have a good continuity from the jump. And I think that Ryan Williams is able to see that it's Kalen DeBoer's offense rather than it was Ryan Grubb's offense. Because remember, you and I talked about that, was like, was he going to potentially, I don't know, leave or whatever it was. But that's not the case. And I think from the offensive standpoint and from listening to some interviews, gotta love the offensive mindset, what he has and kind of the direction. I can't wait. I am probably the most excited to see this offense since Steve Sarkisian. Seriously, because Steve Sarkisian, I knew with him coming in that things would get going. Plus, he already had some pieces to like add on to. But with this kind of, you know, a rebuild of a new coaching staff and the offensive coordinator and, you know, the offense and the head football coach being an offensive minded coach, that's completely different because Saban was defensive minded. Now, of course, Saban is, you know, he coaches the offense, defense, but you know, it's going to be interesting to see the direction that they take it, specifically from quarterbacks and wide receivers. And don't forget, like, the running backs eat as well. That's what they have. Coach Sean and Ty have a really good video about the running backs today. What else we got, Jay?
Yeah, I was going to say, I agree with you that 100%. with the offensive-minded head coach and the way that they're going to run things this year, I think we're going to, just like I told you yesterday, I think we're going to see our wide receivers shine, but also our running backs are going to look good. And people are going to talk more about our offense this year, where last year they doubted us. This year they're going to be afraid of us. You know what I'm saying? And then we're going to have a good defense as well. So I think, you know, everybody that's naysayers, they're going to be in for a rude awakening this year. People saying 9 games. I don't see 9 games. I see 10 and a half, 11 games, maybe even 12. You know? I mean, I think it's going to be a really good team on both sides of the ball, and I'm looking forward to seeing them. I'm so excited about A-Day, like it's going to be a championship, more so to get there and get to meet you guys. So I'm looking forward to A-Day. And I was going to tell you, I got a gray cap and a gray shirt. So, I mean, it looks really good. My cap is not here yet. That's why I hadn't sent a picture in.
Yeah.
But once I get my hat, I'm gonna take a picture and send them both in to you guys so I can see it. But I'm excited about wearing it. I look at my shirt every day.
Yeah, well, we appreciate your support, Jay, and can't wait to get together during A-Day. We'll figure it out so we're organized for everybody. But I appreciate your support. Thanks for the super chat this morning, and thanks for always continuing to be a part of our community right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Really appreciate it and really enjoy the dialogue as well. So hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk next time.
Always. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, TJ. All right, that's Jay, great supporter out in Round Rock, Texas. Couple of questions that I wanted to get to. Hey, Kyle, this is from Efron Davis. When is your anniversary for the show? How long? And so I've been doing the show, this show in this format since 2017, believe it or not. And I think I started the channel in February of 2017. So I think we just passed our anniversary, but yeah, there was always, the numbers are, there's 200 on right now. It's February, but everybody knows how big the show has gotten in terms of, the community that supports it. So yeah, we've been doing this, and I've been doing the call-in show. I mean, I've had callers that have, like Jarek, for example, he was calling back in 2017. Coach Sean probably around that same point, and then kind of morphed into this idea of having content creators that were really solid join the channel. And I think it's worked out pretty well. So, we're continuing that format. And yeah, that's kind of the anniversary of it. Call line is open 205-850-1994. Morty, what's up, man? He's pointing out that Bo Nix and Kool-Aid both from Pennsylvania. That's amazing. Honestly, that's what's up. Yeah. What was always amazing to me, and what it still is the amount of high school football talent in the state of Alabama. And I know for everybody who's like from Alabama, you're like, yeah, no surprise. But honestly, like, it's not that big of a state. What is there, 8 million people here? So yeah, there's a healthy amount. But there's, you have Birmingham, you have Mobile. But overall, there's not like these huge, metro areas. Huntsville, I think has now surpassed Birmingham in terms of maybe population. But they're not these huge cities. But I still think like some of these, smaller spots, they have some talent, right? I loved seeing it. I love like the in-state guys. Like, and that's one of the things that Coach Saban always did such a great job was taking care of the backyard. And I think that Coach Kalen DeBoer will find plenty of talent right here in the state of Alabama. I think, when you look to the prospects that they're currently offering, they're all over. But right here in Alabama, there's some ballers, man. Like, you think of the players, and I don't have time to just look this up right now, chat, but can you guys please, inside the Undefeated, while I'm, discussing these other topics, can you list players that are currently on the roster that are from the state of Alabama? One that jumps off, the top is just Tim Keenan, right out of Ramsey, right? Quentin Reese, I think, is out of Ramsey as well. But you guys go ahead, and what I'm asking is please, list guys that are from Alabama that are currently on the roster, right? There's plenty of them. It's amazing. It's Welcome Formby. He's right here from Tuscaloosa. Kevin Riley. He's from Tuscaloosa County High School. It's always cool. I mean, Kobe Prentice. Yep. Manuel Henderson, Geneva County. I can't wait to see this list. Thank you, fam. I really appreciate you guys helping me out because I'm like, man, built by Bama, is like literally built by Bama. There's so many guys that have been here that are playing here. Quay Russo, Yanze, damn, yeah, James Smith. Thank Hattie May. I love it, man. It's that's amazing to see. Yeah, thank you. I think there was a couple other comments that I wanted to get to as well that I had starred. Oh yeah, Jahil Hurley, Ryan Williams, Curtis Perry. Look at all these names. You see what I'm saying? And Coach Saban did a great job about getting those guys. That's why with Coach Kalen DeBoer, first of all, his first guy was Noah Carter, I think, or he brought in Austin Mack, Noah Carter. But think about this: the first guy from Alabama that he gets is literally Ryan Williams, one of the most heavily sought after prospects. And we've talked about this before, Undefeated. Like, oh, Malachi Moore, thank you, out of Trustville. Right, Deontay Lawson, crazy. I'm telling you, man, Built by Bama is like Built by Bama. But you get Ryan Williams out of Saraland. Like, and we've talked about this before because I always ask the Undefeated, I'm like, is he the most highly sought after prospect, since when? Since Julio? And you guys have definitely said, yeah. Tony Mitchell. Man, that's crazy. It's a hell of a list. Amazing. George talking about 14 playoff model is being socialized. What three from the Big Ten, 3 from the SEC, 2 from the Big 12, 1 from the ACC. You know what? Somebody said this, and 3 at large, and somebody and this is about a potentially new playoff format. We haven't even got to a 12-team playoff, right? And they're already trying to make it 14 and then 16, whatever it is. What's going to happen? And someone posted this on Twitter, and I saw this and I found it to be interesting, is that it's a European soccer model. So if you follow, I don't know, any of the larger, for example, like the World Cup, right? There's a certain amount that gets in from Europe. There's a certain amount that gets in from like Africa. And even when they do like I think it's the Champions League, right? There's like a certain amount from each league that gets a certain amount of teams in. So I could certainly, see it being like that, kind of following that motto. Yeah. Quindarius Robinson. Thank you. Yeah. It is going to be like the minor leagues. And I think, but also I continue to see more stuff about the Big Ten and the SEC trying to like pull away. And I think that will also happen. So this 14 playoff, might be something that happens first, but I think in the long run, I think it's going to be 2 conferences. I think it's just going to be, and from what I was doing some reading, I can't remember the article, but it was talking about if the SEC and the Big Ten somehow like formulate this monster conference, that underneath there'd be like 14 to 16 like divisions, kind of like the NFL. And that would honestly make what the ACC and the Big 12, I don't know what would happen. I guess they would link up and they would be like some other league or something. I don't know. But I think the further we get along within these next couple years, I would think like the next like 2 to 4 years, 2 to 5 years, who knows where college football is going to be. I don't know. I'm excited to see it though, and excited to cover it, but I'm excited honestly just to get like through this next season, because now with this 12-team playoff, what is it going to be like? What are the teams that are going to be in? And let's just start with what's up, Southern Red? I see you inside the comment box. Good morning to you. But I think that even like a starting point is like this season. And a good starting point is like the SEC championship game. Like you saw the list of like the SEC teams. There's no more East and West. It's just 1 versus 2. You imagine how exciting it's going to be? And you looked at all the teams, all the coaches in the SEC, it's a completely different league. So, yeah, I appreciate you guys, being here and rocking with me this morning. Kyle just took a dump and got my morning workout in. Oh, Dudley, what's up, man? It's good to hear. Shredded 15 pounds? Hell yeah, man. What's up? Good way to start your Thursday. Southern Red, let's see what you got to say. I've never been more excited about spring ball. Saw the coaches' interviews yesterday, and there was an elated to hear the excitement to work with our team and contribute to the players and development. Yeah, I think that one of the things that I'm also looking to with this coaching staff, because I think they're going to get off to an ultra hot start. And I think that with adding prospects from the class of 2025, but also developing the players like Coach Saban did to the next level, what I've seen from these guys, and correct me if I'm wrong, okay? I see a lot of energy. I see a lot of excitement. I see a lot of this. These guys want to carry on the standard, right? What's cool is like even Kane Womack was saying that he went to Coach Saban for defensive ideas. So somehow Saban is still facilitating some of his ideas. I saw a lot of passion from these guys, excitement. They understand where they're at. I love that. And I love the fact that, I found it funny. Someone said yesterday, Coach Kalen DeBoer was saying that he doesn't swear a lot. Or he doesn't swear. I don't know. That's going to be different because so many times they would zoom into Coach Saban and we saw what he was saying. He was dropping some MFers on the sidelines, or he'd be like, "What the F are you doing?" I'm going to miss those. Those are going to be some things that are different. Now, he said that there's a fire in there, but there was nothing like a good old headset. Risking gets life. That was kind of like the format for a technical, right? One thing that I wanted to really hit on real quick before I bounce out, and I was going to talk about this earlier, but we started kind of getting all over the place. But we're always talking football. I mean, that's what we do here. But the basketball team last night, man, that was a tale of two halves. That the first half of that game was atrocious, and people were, pissed off about Alabama. And you see what, you look at this team, what they were able to do from the first half and the second half. It was crazy because they scored 64 points in the first half to end up beating Ole Miss by a score of 103-88. Mark Sears scores 26 points. Aaron Estrada had 18, and Cosby scores 15. What was amazing about this particular team is they have now scored 100 points 9 times this season. 9 times this season, which is ties a record for Kentucky in 1995-1996. They also scored 100 points 9 times, right? You have to go way back. And that was that 30 years ago or something like that? That game was crazy to put up. And what trips me out is how they were able to score 64 points in the second half. I was texting one of my buddies last night, and he was he's bet on the game, and he was just like, "Oh man," he was all pissed off. And then after the game ends, he's like, "I take everything back." So you go into this next game, and I have never seen this before. Okay, I don't think it's never happened before. But you have I was going to Alabama's basketball website this morning just to kind of I wanted to look at the stats and stuff like that. But this is on the front page. Look how dope this is. ABC is going to be there. College game day, Alabama, Tennessee, 11 a.m. Doors open for students at 9:30 a.m. General public at 10 a.m. What an amazing opportunity for Coach Oates to continue to showcase his program on College game day. I don't think there's a lot of people that watch College game day on basketball. The percentage is probably a lot smaller than football. But my point is, Nate Oates is doing incredible things at the University of Alabama. And he's really brought back Alabama basketball to the forefront, right? I mean, you see him here already up for the Naismith Coach of the Year award, and rightfully so. I think he's done an incredible job year over year. And one of the things that's also impressive is I always like to see how coaches do when they lose assistant coaches. And I kind of have followed that based off what Coach Saban has had to do. Like, for example, all right, we have had so many different offensive coordinators, so many different defensive coordinators, not as many as offensive coordinators, but you get my point. Alabama was still competing at the highest level. Now, Saban has a large Rolodex and he can bring people over, but still adding new coaches and them absorbing the philosophy, has always been impressive to me. But you look to, for example, Clemson. You had Dabo Swinney, and then as a defensive coordinator, you had Brett Venables. Let me ask you, Undefeated, do you feel that since Brett Venables has left Clemson, that Clemson's program has taken steps in the opposite direction? So My point is Nate Oates this season currently he lost some of his main components from his coaching staff, and following a season where they only lost 6 games, he still has this program tops. And you look to the players that also left. Basketball is tough to do. Basketball is tough to continue to win at the highest level, and that's definitely why Nate Oates is he's earning that paycheck. I think he's earning like a talent fee of like $340,000, but his overall his bonus is like $5 million. So he's getting paid here, and rightfully so. And like Lax with the Michael Myers, I love it. He's saying Clemson has went way downhill since he left. Exactly, and that was the thing. Alabama never under Coach Saban. That's why I love how are you doing when your like key assistants leaving? That shows you how much how much the head coach matters. I mean, when Brent Venables was at Clemson, it wasn't like they were getting completely different players. I mean, it's pretty much the same players in my opinion. I'll showcase that graphic one more time. This graphic says that Alabama, Tennessee, 11 a.m. college game day, and that it'll start at or it'll be open to students. The Crimson Chaos, love it, at 9:30, and then the general public at 10 a.m. Can't wait to see it. Alabama hosting Tennessee, and look, this game is going to be monumental on the basketball front for a lot of different reasons. Not only because it's on the the spotlight of ABC and College Game Day, but because of the fact that Alabama and Tennessee are now tied tops. For the top spot in the SEC, 12-3 overall. Tennessee beat Auburn last night, moves to 22-6 overall. Alabama 20-8. Tennessee 14-1 at home. Alabama 13-1 at home. That's key right there. All right. Alabama on the road 5-4, Tennessee on the road 6-3, neutral site, Tennessee 2-2, and Alabama 2-3. Tennessee riding a 5-game win streak going into this game, College Game Day. Can't wait to see it. And it's Coleman Coliseum is going to be absolutely lit for that one. So can't wait to see it. And I appreciate you guys, joining us. And what we'll do is we'll probably, at that point in time, since it's such a marquee game, is we'll have probably a running scoreboard to go along with the content. And we'll, of course, have, the post-game press conference right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Kyle broadcast from the stands. No, ABC, they'll do a great job, broadcasting the game, and you'll have, your boy Chris Stewart and all the components that come with Alabama basketball. It's really great to see. I mean, despite what people like the basketball team needs a new arena, but Coleman, it's a big place. And, the first time that College Game Day has ever been here at Coleman is pretty crazy to think about. And then on Monday you have spring football, Wednesday you have spring football, Friday you have spring football, then you go on spring break. So, and then you got the NFL Combine, or the Combine that's taking place. It's called Pro Day. I'm sorry, Pro Day here at Alabama on March 20th, and the NFL Combine is taking place right now. Today you have Chris Broswell, Dallas Turner, and Justin Ebogbe. Elvis performed at Coleman. Yo, it's older, but it's still. I mean, it's been easy to navigate, since I've been here, because they have the actual I guess the auxiliary practice facility kind of on the back, and then you have where the gymnastics team meets, or where they practice in the back as well. It's a big facility, but clearly they need to upgrade it. And parking, I don't think parking is that bad for basketball, because they have that huge parking lot, right next to it. And then they created a bridge over from 15th into University, which I thought was probably one of the greatest engineering feats that this city has done. How are they able to do that? But we still can't solve McFarland. All the traffic on McFarland, if you live in Northport or Tuscaloosa, you've been in that traffic. We've all been in that traffic together. So yeah, that is chicken and waffles. What's up, DR334? Haven't talked to you in a minute, man. If you want to swing in one more time, I'll take one more call. It's 205-850-1994. Waiting for Coach Smook to roll through. No, it looks like he just popped in. Coach Smook, what's up, man? I see you inside Inside the queue, give me a thumbs up, man, if you're ready. All right, man. Got Coach Smoot coming in, and let's see, get you to the stage. What's up, Coach?
What's up, bro? I was in here trying
Appreciate
to
you, man.
Get my graphic because I got a new player that we're gonna be looking at today. I think he gonna get the Bama fan base excited. So I was just making sure I had it queued up perfect. You know.
Yeah.
Make sure this joint looking clean, bro.
That's what's up, man. And yeah, Kyle, are you guys going to the NFL Combine? No, Rodney, we are not going to the NFL Combine, but we will be here at Pro Day, which will be on the 20th. So yeah, it looks like everybody got their Smook emoji. Get them fired up.
Let's go, baby.
I love to absolutely see it. And dang, Elvis performed 3 times at Coleman. That's wild. I honestly, I did not know that. Yeah, we're talking about the basketball team, what they were able to do last night. It was crazy. They scored 64 points in that second half, right? And I think a good team can figure out how to change things up at half and kind of transitioning that to football too. This past year's team, man, they made some hell of adjustments in the second half. I thought that was one of the better things that the staff was able to do. That comes from an experienced staff. Before we get to your segment, Smook, yesterday I heard the coaches talking, and this stood out to me. Kane Womack talking about the fact that these coaches, they already know each other, right? Because they've been so like there's no like kind of filling out, like, can you rip this dude? Like, is this guy gonna be upset? Who's stepping on toes? Who's the alpha? Whatever. They already know all that. So they can just bring football and translate that to players and get going. So love the coaching staff where we're at. I see a lot of excitement. I see a lot of guys who have high energy. Right. I mean, like Coach Shepard looks like he's bringing the absolute fire. I love the fact that David Ballou was retained as a strength and conditioning coach to be a pillar. I love the same thing with Jeff Allen. So those are your pillars. You have Coach Saban as a far back pillar, being an advisor or whatever he is. So if you look to stability, there's plenty of stability here. They have all the resources in front of them. You have new energy, kind of a regentrification of the coaching staff. And clearly, you have the players to win games, a lot of games, a national championship. But Smook, have a good segment, man. I will catch up with you and do your thing, man. And we'll catch up with you soon.
For sure, bro. Roll Tide.
All right, roll Tide, team, man.
It's crazy that Kyle jumped on that subject because I literally was going to slide right there into that same vein, guys, because I think we're set up perfectly. He alluded to something, and I forgot to kind of, y'all know I love to debate with Coach Jay on here, but Coach Jay was talking about Molinquist being this alpha mentality and all of this stuff. That's the thing. Like, these guys are they know each other. They're familiar with each other. This is a group of staff that wants to work together. These are guys that are like, hey, man, if I ever got a chance, if we ever had an opportunity, I think we could do some good things together. And that defensive staff is that type of group, knowing about each other, knowing kind of like what the foundational beliefs are when it comes to schematics. This defense might be more fluent than the offense coming up this year. A lot of people don't want to believe it, but I just continue to do my research, man. I go back and I read. I try to make ties where ties can be made. You know, if there's any type of crossings in a coach's upbringing as far as becoming a coordinator, you know, not necessarily being a D-line coach or a position coach, but coordination-wise, when you come through similar systems and you cross paths, it's a lot of clinics that go on, kind of like the coaching clinic that Kalen DeBoer. You a lot of times, a lot of your coaching trees are built out of those type of those events, those type of happenings. So you look at the past of that defensive staff, you're like, man, these guys got a lot of the same root knowledge. And then you look at the offensive side, Kalen DeBoer being the head coach, he didn't pick anybody that he didn't feel like could enhance his style of play calling in his system. So I'm excited about it. Let me get in the chat, man. Y'all know we got to turn it up just a little bit, man. We got to crank it up just a little bit, so that we can get everybody in here showing them some love. Man, how is everybody doing? I seen y'all running the emotes up like 20 seconds ago before I even could get in good. I appreciate y'all. Like, y'all showing your boy some love, man. Got me feeling good. Caitlin, look, Jor came through with the love. Caitlin came through. Josh, my sister Marquita. What's up, y'all? Tim Nolan in the chat. Auntie Janet in the chat. Cynthia in the chat. Kareem in that bad boy. Goof in there. Jay in there. Kyle. Come on, Auntie Janet, I see you. Lax, I see you. I see you. Ruben in the chat. Let's go, man. Oliver, how you feeling, man? How you feeling? Rocket, what's good, bro? What's good, man? Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Bino in the chat. What's good, my brother? What's good, Bino? Everybody in the chat, man. Byron in the chat. I see you, Brian. What's good, man? Tink, how you feeling, brother? How you feeling? Rich, what's good? Brian in the chat. Let's go. Jared, what's good, brother? It's good, brother. Y'all like that? Uncle Jay, what's good? I was looking for you last night, man. I ain't see you come through last night. Good to see you in the building. Welcome. Welcome back, Patriot Life. What's good? Rodney in the chat. Let's go, man. DR334. What's good? Mike G. Everybody, LaQuasia. Y'all know I'm hyped. Y'all see me rocking back and forth looking like I got some type of disorder or something. I'm just hyped, man. I got a reason to live today. I'm hyped, man. I haven't been sleeping much because of how much work I've been doing, but I'm not tired. You get what I'm saying? My body, I'm gonna start going and get those refresher IVs like I used to back in the day. Start getting those to get my body back up with energy. But yeah, man, Smooth, you gotta bring the beat to A-Day. Listen, on A-Day, Well, that's what your boy gonna be doing. I'm telling you, man, the whole time. And see, I'm older now, so I don't do all that jumping around and stuff. I just bounce, get my shoulders involved a little bit, make a little face every now and then. You know what I'm saying? That's how you got to do it. You ain't got to do a lot. You ain't got to do a lot. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know I'm crazy, man. But yeah, let's jump into it today. I'm excited to be here once again. Y'all see your boy got a pen. Y'all look, I got a pen, and I've been writing notes, y'all. I've been writing notes. Today, we're going to switch up the order a little bit. I love how you guys have been supporting these young men that I've been bringing to the front as far as looking at these recruits film. Y'all know that's part of my job description now here at Bama Football on YouTube, recruiting insider. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to build relationships with possible recruits, the in-state guys that I can reach, and if they aren't getting Bama looks or any looks at all, we're trying to create exposure for them. But we have confirmation that this show is creating value for a lot of players. One just so happened, there should be an announcement coming within the next week, if not before the 9th. This young man is expecting an offer. I'm not going to put his name out there yet, but because of this show, this young man has had contact with some of the coaching staff here at Alabama, and I'm excited and I am happy that that's happening for him. The phone call that I got last night, and I mean, it was late, the phone call that I got, man, it did my heart so, I mean, man, and I'm gonna tell y'all something before we get into the segments today. Last night, I really had a moment, right? You all have been able to see a lot of this stuff that's happening for me from the outside looking in. So very few are privy to what's going on, like really, really going on. But I had a moment yesterday, and it wasn't a bad thing. I wasn't sad. I just began to get full of emotion because of everything that's happening. I look at my circumstances and I look at where I'm at right now in my life, and I just can't do nothing but thank God. It's not the ideal situation to be away from my family or, to be here in the unknown, just moving about. Because, even though I'm staffed, this is not a 9-to-5, guys. This is a job where anytime there's news or anytime there's work, I'm there. So I love this energy because I work on my own schedule, which is all the time. Everything I do is like geared towards what I want to present for Alabama football or Bama football on YouTube. So I'm excited about this opportunity. And last night, it was a good moment. It was a good moment for me. I was able to release some things, and I encourage y'all to do that. Some of us, outside of football, guys, y'all know I'm very big on self-care, self-love, rebuilding yourself. Because that's the stage I'm in right now. A lot of people think I'm so confident. I'm rebuilding this confidence. So I encourage you all, man, to just continue to seek out what's best for you. Find that good energy, find that good wavelength, and stay on it. Ride it out. It doesn't last forever. And when it's time to transition, don't try to hold on to something that was, good for a moment. Move to the next moment. Go through the next phase. Transition to the next moment so you can continue to enjoy life. Life is not all about ups. There's ups and downs. You learn how to balance them out so that you enjoy it. You enjoy it. And that's what I'm learning right now. And I encourage y'all to do that, man. So be checking out my TikTok. my Instagram. And if you follow me on Twitter at Coach Smoot, I'll be continue to post the positive vibes, everything positive, spiritual. Yeah, you know, that's what I'm gonna be doing. But with that being said, y'all, yeah, I see y'all running up the hundreds. What's up, Hattie Mae? How you feeling? How you feeling? Hattie Mae, wait, y'all gotta get them memberships, man. Look, y'all gotta get y'all fan fund tags back, man. Wait, you just made all that money this weekend in Atlanta. Go ahead, drop $3 on this thing. You just made, hey, y'all, Wade famous too. Wade's World is famous. I'm letting y'all know right now. Before everybody else starts saying it, I've what's crazy is I used to see Wade on different like clips and stuff and didn't even know that was him until I went to his Instagram and started seeing like all the movies that he's been a part of. I think he's done his third one just now. So y'all check my boy out on Instagram. Wade, that boy is a clown. He gonna have you laughing. Everything he do is gonna be fun. It's gonna be funny. And he's a grinder. He's a grinder. So I appreciate you for pulling up today. Can't wait for A-Day Patriot Life. Bruh, man, listen. Hey, Patriot Life, if you just not making reservations, you might be short, man. You might be short. I've been talking to some people. It's people like already coming, like signing leases to come in town for that, just to have a place so they could sublease whenever they not in town. So you better get on it, brother. I'm telling you. I am Metho. You think you play that Faulkner with me? What's your name? What's your name, Metho? What's your name, bro? Metho, what's your name? I left my second year at Faulkner and transferred to Edward Waters College. What's your name, bro? Because I played at Faulkner. What's your name? We might, hey, this is crazy. If you see me, Trent, man, what's good, my boy? I'm Senator Hines, bro. What's good, Ross? T. Ross, tell these boys how crazy I was my freshman year. Tell them how I came in popping, bro. Tell them. Tell these folks, man. Tell these folks, man. T. Ross, tell these folks. What up, man? Good to see you, man. It's crazy you seeing me here. Tell them how much I used to talk Bama as a freshman at Faulkner, man. Tell them how my room looked, my dorm, me and Chad dorm room looked. T. Ross, that's what's up, man. Welcome to the channel, bro. That is crazy. That is crazy. Good to see you. Dang, T. Ross, what's good, man? Y'all, this is a moment for me. This is like one of my college teammates. So like for folks that think I'll be capping about my freshman year, he was part of that class. We both, you know, they tried to redshirt us when we first came on and we went crazy in fall camp. I put on a lot of weight. I already had the hands. I developed a little speed in a matter of a month, some technique, and they put your boy out there. My boy T. Ross, man. T. Ross, you ended up making a full roster too, right? That's crazy, man. That's crazy, y'all. I can't. I'm excited. My boy done found me. Like, that's crazy. My college teammate. What that was, man. Ross Week, man. 2008, 2009. That's almost 20 years ago. Yeah, man. I remember it was you, Braswell, Q Braswell. Who was Turtle? Y'all, you remember Turtle had ended up making it. Ivan Cobb. Who else, man? Danny Bice. You remember that? 08, 09? Yeah, man. Bro, that's almost 20. You know, that's almost 20 years ago, bro. That is crazy. Nah, you know what, Caitlin? I tried to do that, man. Back then in our days, you didn't get a lot of Alabama paraphernalia like you did. Like, you had to go and find it. You had to either go to Tuscaloosa, you had to find the right store to go and find Bama paraphernalia. You had to order it. So in college, man, it was just about what all week. My grandmother gave me a lot of my stuff that I took to college with me. So yeah, man. Hey, T. Ross, we could have had something if that program was a little bit more established. If we was born like 4 years later, we probably could have went there a year or two and been at D1 level. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. Welcome to the chat, though, man. I'm gonna get into my segments, y'all. That just did my heart good to have a former teammate, brother in here. That's crazy, man. Like, just thinking back, I could tell the story real quick. So me and one of my teammates, Danny Bice, I know y'all laughing about the Kentucky video, the fight that happened with the Kentucky players, right? So me and my teammate, Danny Bice, shout out to Danny Bice, and me and Danny still tight to this day. But we were playing Blitz 2000 or something, one of them games. It had to be Blitz because Danny was doing the most cheesiest crap. And I ain't gonna lie, he was talking mad trash. And both of us we were coming off of injury. We had just came from physical therapy, right? And we playing the game, man. Everybody talking trash. I done beat everybody in the lobby that whole night. Danny gets on the sticks, and he doing the most trash stuff ever. So he's catching the ball, and he's diving. As you get ready to tackle him, he diving so he doesn't get tackled. And he scored like 21 points off of that jump. And I ended up winning the game, though. I ended up winning the game, but it wasn't a blowout. And so Danny gets to popping off at the mouth and gets in my face, man. And I just snapped, man. I remember we got to scrapping a little bit. And man, we got to practice the next day. And everybody on the team had already found out. You know, it was a few people in the lobby when it happened, but everybody on the team had found out. And I'm young. I ain't thinking about the repercussions of it. But Danny had, you know, had a bruise on his face. I ain't black as I don't think. I think I just bruised his face up real good. And like he didn't get no good licks on me. And that was the messed up part about it, because after the fight, we shook it up and he was like, man, we gotta go again. And I was like, shoot, it's whatever, dog. And he was injured too. That's another thing. When I pushed him while we was scrapping, he had rolled his ankle again, right? So he was kind of sweet. So I stopped. I ain't try to demolish him or nothing. We just have a brotherly fight. But yeah, man, we shook it up, man. And from that day on, me and Danny was tight. Coach made us during practice. Me and Danny had they tied a rope around us, so we was doing drills together. They made us become brothers, and it was embarrassing at the time, but we made fun out of it. T. Ross, I don't know if you're still in here, but that was a funny moment, man. It was crazy. I remember that was something that, you know, I got known for. You know, I got to fighting with a few teammates, especially wide receivers. I was real tough on my wide receivers. We had a mentality in our group, me and my brother AJ Yeldon. We just had a different mentality compared to everybody. And we were supposed to be redshirted. We ended up being some solid true freshman starters until my injury. So AJ had a crazy injury too. So y'all, it's just awesome going down memory lane. I'm sorry, man. I done went all the way down memory lane. I don't know if y'all enjoying my memory lane, but dang, it was good to see my boy, man. T. Ross, good to see you, man. That is crazy, y'all. We've lost teammates since 2007. I mean, 2008, 2009. We've lost coaches. So when somebody comes around after not seeing them after 10, 15 years, when they come around, it's good to see that people are still alive and moving around, man. Hey, listen, Jay, you know what? Back then it was DVDs. My ex-wife, and if y'all live in Montgomery, y'all know my ex-wife. Please don't tell her I'm talking bad about it. But this is what happened. She threw a lot of my stuff away that I had when we were living together. She threw a lot of it away. And yeah, I think that was part of that, because I don't even have like my college practice jersey that I took with me no more. My shorts, I had kept all of that. I never knew I was going to be a college football athlete. So I kept all of that stuff. Clint, what's good, family? How y'all feeling? But yeah, so let's get into the topics today. I want to get on this subject about this recruit, somebody that's come up on my radar. I'm not sure if Alabama's talking to him yet, but I got a feeling because of where he is and who he's currently committed to. I got a feeling that this young man might end up getting a few Alabama, might end up getting an Alabama offer before the end of this camp season, going into his senior year. And the young man that I'm talking about today, we're going to jump in. We're going to talk about, let me do my screen share real quick. We're going to be talking about this young man, Malik Autry. Malik Autry. This young man is out of Opelika High School, an area I'm familiar with, Opelika, Alabama. Malik Autry, 6'5.5", 320 pounds, defensive lineman. Guy that big, you know, he's going to be lining up at D tackle. But once you see his film, and y'all know how I do, I'm only a 30-second guy, right? A few pumps and I'm out. I don't need the full course. You know what I'm saying? A few pumps and I'm out. Coach Smook is in there. I don't need to see a lot. Give me 3 plays, and I'm going to be able to get a good read on it. And I think y'all are going to be excited about this young man today when we dive into his film. I promise you. Y'all know I have yet to disappoint. Have I yet to disappoint, chat? Come on now. Yeah, had him made big boy. And let me tell you. Hey, Scott Stevens, if you want me to check anybody out, and I've been real strict on this, it's not that I'm ignoring you. I don't family, I don't want y'all to think that I'm ignoring y'all. It's just we are trying to get this network set up to be like a network, right? So if y'all want me to check out players, please send them to me at the Smook Scoop. The Smook Scoop is there for a reason. It helps me organize it, and it gives me an opportunity to give a full reaction, a full live reaction after being able to evaluate, because I don't want to put everybody in front of Alabama Nation. Not everybody wants to be seen. So I try to connect with these players that y'all are sending to me. I try to make sure that they good with, is that the type of do they want to be presented in front of Alabama Nation, right? Because not all players want to be in front of Alabama fans, right? So I have to respect what these kids are talking about. And I'm not going to be like the other, recruiting places and all that stuff that just kind of take kids and try to create their own. No, we want to be able to communicate with these young men and give them the best exposure that they can get. So definitely send that to my email, coachsmook@gmail.com, and I will definitely take a look at it. Everybody that sent me one, they know I've either featured it or I've responded back to them and told them, when I'm going to feature it. So please do that for me in the comments if y'all can. So yeah, no neck. Janet, he ain't got no neck. He barely got a neck. Come on. Howdy, Louie. What's good, family? Roll Tide. You got my Bo Jackson email? Yes, Jared, I got it. And we're going to be doing one on him tomorrow. We got him lined up tomorrow. 6'5", 285-pound junior from South. Send it to me, Scott. Send it to me my email. I appreciate you. So let's jump into the film, man. Y'all know that's what we come here for. We don't come here to speculate. We come in here to jump into the film. So, and y'all know when I'm watching film right now with this setup, I can't see the comments. So run up the comments now that we're about to we're about to kick off. Run up the comments and tell me what you think. Evaluation comments only. I don't care if it's criticism. I don't care if it's bad or good. I want you all to comment on this young man's film and give some good critiques, y'all. Give some realistic critiques. I think y'all are going to like this young man. I only watched 3 plays, 30 seconds. Y'all know how I do. So y'all see where this bar is, right? So y'all know I ain't capping. This is about 30 seconds right here. I believe right at 20 seconds, 30 seconds. I don't watch the whole videos because I want to have a straight reaction like y'all. Let me share our live real quick so he can see it. I'm going to share it real quick to him. And then I'm going to post it too. So yeah, if y'all want to, after we look at the film, y'all go show this young man some love. Okay, I see it, Scott. Appreciate that. So we're gonna put you in the lineup for if we have to do a show Saturday. We'll crank that up for you Saturday. I'm gonna check out the film and I'll be able to confirm. I'll email you, brother. Appreciate that. So let's dive into it, chat. Oh Lord, and this is what I seen. So I'm not gonna act like I haven't seen this one. Just look at him strong. This is 7A football in Alabama too. 7A football. Oblackers is 7A. 96. Y'all remember the last 96 we had? Who was the last 96 we had? Look at him, man. This kid is huge. Jesus Christ, man. What do you do with, man? Hold up. Timeout. Quarterback. That's what we doing? That's what we doing, quarterback? Is that what we doing, quarterback? Check this out. You see this. You're not even looking at the guy you're supposed to be reading. He looking at the defensive tackle. That's how bad it is. He's supposed to be reading the end. He's supposed to be reading an overhang defender. That's how crazy, disruptive, and explosive this young man Malik Autry is. You causing them to look, they done block, they done double down on the end. That's just bad scheming up there, and he took advantage of it. Hold up, question. I'm questioning this OC, this offensive coordinator, because you literally And then, okay, I see it. I see it. Y'all, that's the offensive coordinator in me. I'm sorry, Malik, if you ain't here. I turned into a coach just now. I'm trying to see what the schematics of this was because I see a left tackle, right? Second level. I see a center, second level. Guard and tackle double down on that end. What is the look here? We got RP, we got handoff read, edge coming off. I mean, this pass up here would be the only thing I would see that they were trying to scheme, but the quarterback did a horrible job reading because the scheme wasn't set up for him. And you got a Malik Autry, 6'5", too doggone big, coming down 100 miles per hour at you. I bet this kid run like a 4.8, y'all. I bet he run like a 4.7, 4.8. And how many pounds? How big is my youngin? 6'5", 320. I guarantee you this young man running 4.8. I guarantee you. And he not going to get big like Jaheim Otis was. No, he not tracking downfield. No, he not. Boy, if you don't get your butt, man, what in the? And he not jogging. Look at the stride. Look at the stride. He's an athlete, y'all. Look at the stride. I see it is going away from me. Let me get an angle. Look at the stride. Look at the stride. Watch him get them knees. Get them knees up. Yes, he can. And he gonna lay you out on the sideline. Come on, boy. Uh-oh. Climb. Oh, Jesus. Jesus. And he likes contact. That's what you want in the trenches. You want a guy that can be aggressive, physical. Yo, I'm only a minute into this film, y'all. Whew. Malik, I ain't gonna cap, bro. Malik, I'm not to you. I am not the most expert of coaches, and I'm not the most experienced coach, but when Alabama come calling, please come on. Please come on. You and Isaiah Fager, oh my God. You and Isaiah together, Jesus Christ. James Smith, Curtis Perry. Bro, Keon Keeley on the edge with you for another year. Yanzi Pierre, Jay Sean Ross, Noah Carter, all them guys playing around you and Isaiah. Oh my God. In this scheme, Jesus Christ. Look at this young man. Look at him. Get off the double team and still make the play. He's not I mean, he's a big 6'5" frame. Like he's a big 6'5", 320 frame, but he's not wide frame. It's like he's athletically like who can I say? Raekwon Davis type feels. Y'all remember how big Raekwon Davis was? I think Raekwon was like 6'7", like 285, 290, something like that. But he just had this long limbs, like his length, his wingspan is out there. He got like a long torso. He don't have a short torso for a big guy. He got a long torso, his legs. I mean, look at it. The guy's built, man. Are you serious? Are you serious? And I know what kind of ball players come out of Opelika. We played against Opelika. They don't go. They stay in home. They stay at home and use their guys in. They breed football players in Opelika, man. Malik, come to Bama. Malik, come to Bama. Malik, come to Bama. Let me get to the comments and see what y'all saying. What's up, y'all? John said, why is he running so fast? That's not fair. How you going to be that huge and then be able to move like that, bro? You got quarterbacks that are running 4.8s, bro. You got quarterbacks in the league that are running 4.8s. You got quarterbacks in the league, and this young man right here, I guarantee you he's a 4.8. Easily a 4.8 kid. Easily. I guarantee it. I'm just saying, just look at the film, y'all. You don't have to say much. You don't have to look at much. It's like and they say he's a 4-star. They say he's a 4-star, guys. Got a poll in the chat for y'all. Jesus Christ, man. I like watching good film, man. And this young man, he didn't put a whole bunch of sacks on here. He showed a lot of his versatility. You saw some finesse. Where's that play where he spent off those two guys? You saw some finesse. You see a lot of power. Being a defensive tackle, you see his range, man. Pursuit is huge. Here you go. I mean, pursuit is everything. Getting your shoulder pad square. Look, double team. That's a triple team. Hold up. Go back. He just threw off 3 blocks in that one play, y'all. Double team. 1-2. Look, 1-2 double team. 1-2 double team. Get off me. I'm not your. You are my children. I'm your father. Get your hands off of me. Unhand me, young man. Oh, you too? Get off of my jersey. My school paid a lot of money for these nice jerseys. I do not like you grabbing on my drippage. And come here, young man. I'm tired of you. Listen, Malik Autry, you just put yourself on my radar. You put yourself on my radar. You're in trouble now. I'm going to tag every chance I get. I'm going to tag Coach Roach. I'm going to tag Kane Womack. Y'all can say I'm clout chasing or whatever. Malik Autry, Tristan Lyles in the 26 class. Aiden Kane, the guy we just talked about last night, young man in the 26 class. We start hauling in some guys like that. Zion Grady in this next class. You know, Malik Autry and Antonio Coleman are both committed to Auburn right now. If we could flip Autry and mess around and pick up on this Coleman buzz, we can secure a 25 defensive class that like no other that we haven't seen. And you combine it with the secondary guys that we were able to secure this year in this 24 class, Bama Nation, we need to get Malik Autry. If y'all, hey, listen, John, y'all want me, hey, y'all want me to get Malik Autry on the show? I'm gonna go on I'm gonna go on Twitter later on today, and I will be tagging him. Somebody said no. Somebody said Malik Autry not a 5-star. Who's tweaking? Out of the 24%, out of the 21 votes, 24% of y'all saying he not a 5-star. Come on, man. Listen. If Zion Grady is a 5-star coming off the edge, this young man is a 5-star at the defensive tackle position. I want to see somebody inbox me. Somebody inbox me a 5-star in the 5-star defensive tackle in the 2025 class. Somebody inbox me a 5-star in the 2025 class, and I want to look at that film compared to this one because I know what type of football. 7A football is SEC junior football, right? If you want to get ready for the SEC play in a 7A league or a 5A plus league in Texas, play in a 7A league in Bama, some regions of 6A, right? Play a 5A plus ball in Georgia. Go to Florida and play top 2 league ball. You get what I'm saying? You want to play some junior SEC ball, go to some of these schools, especially in Alabama. You go to the Central Phoenix cities, the Auburn high schools, the Opelikas, the Hoovers, the Thompsons, the Vestavia Hills. Like a lot of these, you know, talent-rich areas are developing talent now because you got a lot of former college players and coaches that are coming down to the high school level, and they're doing development training in the offseason with their own businesses, and then they're going to these same schools and coaching and developing these guys on the field when it comes to schematics. That's why you see the change of talent in today's day and age when it comes to recruits. So I'm excited, y'all. I know I spent a lot of time on that film. Y'all got to help me get better at this because I really got to, man, I got to stop being a coach all the time. I got to start just enjoying the moment sometimes, y'all. Got to start. He's committed to Auburn. He's committed to Auburn right now. If I'm not mistaken, he's verbal to Auburn. Yeah, Byron. But he is committed to Auburn. You're right. He's a 7. What you mean? A 7? What you mean a 7? Oh, 4-7? Oh, 4-7? That's what you mean? Yeah, but the thing is, hey, babe, my wife is in the chat, y'all. Hey, babe. My babe's in the chat. But the thing is, y'all, it's not just because kids verbal, a 7-star. He a 7-star. Hey, Louis, we'll flip him. I'm telling you right now. And this is because I could look, y'all. I want y'all to pay attention to Twitter for the rest of the day. Oh, Tristan Lyles just like one of my chats too, my tweets. Yeah, I like connecting with these recruits more than I do with like all the. I ain't gonna say more. I feel like this is more authentic with them. They get the, we get to get in early on their exposure and see their personalities for what it is. I can't wait to connect with a lot of the Bama players. I've already been talking to a lot of them that's currently on the roster, a lot of the freshmen on the roster, a lot of sophomores. So I'm excited to connect, but let's get into it, man. Going into these segments, man, let's dial in. Let's get through these topics. We got 2 primary topics. Then we're going to do our reality versus reach. And then we're going to end the day on a high note. All right. Before we get into that, let me pull something up for you all. Pull something up for y'all. And once again, appreciate y'all for hanging out with your boy, man. I'm grateful that y'all are here enjoying these segments. I don't take it for granted. I know my bros don't take it for granted. So y'all know I got to do this real quick to get us paid, man. We get paid right here because we respect our people. We support our sponsors. We get them they love. Shout out to our sponsors here at Bama Football on YouTube. We're talking about the Residence Inn in Ocean City, Maryland. If y'all ever in the area, go check them out. It's the Residence Inn, Ocean City, Maryland. Guests can book at residenceinnoc.com. Use the promo code LPR for special Bama football pricing. You can get up to 20% off. And then also for those that are wondering why your name is in green, why you don't have the red helmet sticker next to your name, it's because you're not a fan funder. In order to become a fan funder, you either can hit this doggone, you can scan this QR code, or you can go to the top of the chat. There's a hyperlink there, and it'll take you to the link. And what it does, it gives you access to the special emojis, right? You get access to all the exclusive videos that we're putting out, the fan funder videos. We've been doing some hot takes on inside linebacker groups. When spring practice starts, that's where you're going to see all of the up-to-date breaking news. You won't have to wait till the next day to talk about spring practice, right? You'll be able to get all of the news that we don't get through on the live. You'll be able to get all the real inside scoop in these exclusive videos. Myself and Kyle will be on campus watching practices for the media times, doing interviews. So we will be able to bring you a lot. Y'all see my face a lot. I had to get up in the camera. And then you fund the team, man. You help us handle our business. You help us pay our bills. It's free to watch, but it's not free to operate. So when you fan fund and you donate your super chats, that's what you're helping. You're not just paying Kyle, you're paying this whole team. And this is a organization that takes care of their people. So I'm glad that you all are here, and I'm happy, y'all. Okay, JD, I see that. Yeah, okay. I got some good shout out to my guy Toby. Just sent me a text. He said roll tide, my daily roll tide text from my brother Toby. Okay, y'all. So let's dive into it. Coach KD. I put the equal sign. He equals a breath of fresh air. We are having this conversation real lightly for the past couple weeks, and I think I'm kind of prepared even before a snap is taken, before a play is called, before a game is even won, right? Before a full practice has happened. I am ready to stand by this word, and I'm gonna stand on it. And I'll lick my wounds if they come later on a year from now. But right now, in this moment, that carrying 320, yeah, 5-star facts, Andre. But right now, my feels and senses, my spook senses are tingling, right? My coach spook senses are tingling, and it's sometimes when you're watching something from afar, and you get like this vibrant energy from it. And the closer you get to it, you start to really be able to validate some of this energy by the way demeanors are being presented around that energy, the way that, actions are being taken around that energy. And I've been able to talk to recruits. I've been able to talk to staff. I've been able to talk to former players. I've been able to talk to current players. I've been able to talk to current staff, right? People who are directly connected to the organization. And when I say the energy around Alabama football is infectious right now. Positive, on a positive note. Not on a negative note, but on a positive note. The energy around Alabama is infectious. I look at this team and Kalen DeBoer and this staff, and I look at and I say to myself, this is a scary team because of the energy that's on each level, right? You got a coaching staff that doesn't feel like they got a chip on their shoulder, but this is a coaching staff that wants to they're up for a challenge. This coaching staff is up for a challenge, y'all. I'm trying to send this link out. But this coaching staff is up for a challenge. Coach Kalen DeBoer, and Kane Womack, Nick Sheridan, Jamarcus Shepard, Coach Cap on the offensive line, new tight ends coach. Who's the new tight end coach? It wasn't Nunez, was it? Who's the new tight ends coach? Y'all help me out. Help me out. I forget. Eric. I forget the guy's name, y'all. Y'all, help me find out. Coach Smook, I'm in my car. I emailed you a reality. I seen that, Uncle Jay. I seen that. Smook, I would like that if you did segments where you show a 5-star versus 4-star recruits and break down why they're. Oh, Shaw, I like that. Email that to me, please, Shaw, so I don't forget it. I check my emails after every show. Hey, you know what they say about them big bars of slope on the field, man. You don't want them. You don't want to have to try to block them guys. Yeah, but Coach KD is a breath of fresh air, y'all. You look at the style of offense that he's bringing in on a recruiting standpoint. Let's start at that level. From a recruiting standpoint, it's not hard to sell this style of offense. He has like 6 years of consistent, you know what I'm saying, consistent growth and development. And at every stop he's made as a coordinator or as a head coach, he's always been able to produce offensive guys, create studs, whether it was the scheme highlighted offensive linemen, tight ends, wide receivers, running backs, and especially a special keen ability to develop quarterbacks, right? So I look at what Alabama has to offer and what we're bringing back, and I'm excited because the noise around Jalen Milroe to me is just going to amp up the process. I think the quarterbacks in that room are excited for Jalen Milroe's opportunity. Listening to some of the conversations, Ty Simpson is a competitor. I think Ty Simpson is bought into playing 1 year at Alabama. I think Ty Simpson is really bought into playing 1 year at Alabama. If he transfers after the spring, it'll be because there are some coaches there that see his value and they understand that maybe you might not be the leader of this locker room and maybe you want to go somewhere else and start and get on the field right now because you have the ability. And that might be the situation because I'm telling you right now, this coaching staff is excited about being able to develop the likes of Jalen Milroe. They're excited to develop the likes of Ty Simpson. They're excited to develop the likes of Dylan Lonergan. They're excited to develop the likes of Austin Mack, right? But Coach Kalen DeBoer has a special connection with quarterbacks that are like Jalen Milroe, underdogs, guys who are raw, guys who have the complexes against them that they can't be developed. He thrives on those type of situations. Look at Michael Penix's base where he started. He was nowhere near the level he was when Kalen DeBoer. He was nowhere near the level of Jalen Milroe as when Kalen DeBoer got a hold of him. And you see what he was able to do in 3 years under Kalen DeBoer. You look at where Jalen Milroe is. He's probably at the level you need to be, so you don't need 3 years to develop. You need maybe 8 weeks to develop. Starting now in the spring, you get an offseason, a full offseason, being able to dialogue and get in the film room. You get in the fall training with the same scheme that you've been learning in the spring. Nothing's changed. You're just building onto it. This is a situation where we just have a successful team, not just quarterbacks, but a successful team. And it's all because of the guy that's at the head, and that's Kalen DeBoer. I'm excited. I think he's brought a new just a newfound sense of what Alabama football can become, right? And all we need is for those players to buy in. And once they buy in, it's over and done with for the rest of college football. Louis, I said it to all of them. I said it about all of them. I don't know if you just a few seconds behind, but I'm telling you, I like our quarterback room. I'm not saying Milroe's the only one capable of starting. I just, when people come in with the negative narrative, that's when I jump on the middle. If people came in and attacked Ty Simpson, I would do the same. But nobody seems to attack Ty Simpson, even though he had shaky feet. He didn't go through his progressions fluidly. He struggled with holding on to the snap against USF, right? He didn't make all the right reads against USF. He had some errant throws, right? Same thing with Dylan Lonergan. Dylan Lonergan to me was probably the most ready mentally, but there's just certain nuances of the game, the college game, that you have to be ready for. And last year was not the year to throw a guy like Dylan Lonergan out there when you had a left tackle who couldn't block to save his life for the first 3 weeks, right? Or a center who couldn't snap the whole season, or at the beginning of the season for the first 4 weeks, a right guard and Darian Dallencourt who couldn't hold it down, right? So give me a second, y'all. Somebody knocking at my door. How you doing? All right. No, man, I'm good. My fault, y'all. Y'all know I'm at a hotel, so they be coming and check. Make sure I don't need no towels and then. So I appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all for being patient and rocking with the boy. This is the network overnight, and y'all know until I get settled, it's gonna be kind of weird. But I'm gonna keep it 100. Hey, it wasn't room service today. Y'all know I'm in a motel, like my boy Jared said. I'm in a motel. We grinding out here. We get it out the mud, man. And you know what? I like this stuff, y'all. This is what I want to live in for the next few months. So I don't have nothing else to do but work and sleep and eat. That's it. Work out, go to the gym, work, provide this coverage for y'all, sleep, wake up, do it again. That's my schedule for the next. I mean, I'm gonna hit the women's basketball game tonight, but if it ain't Bama related, Bama campus or whatever, Bama sports related, you probably won't find me out. If y'all ain't talking about linking up and going out to eat, you won't find me out. You know what I'm saying? I'm working, man. I'm in grind mode. My boy EJ, what's up, bro? Hey, EJ, I might be in the city. I don't know if you back home yet. I might be in the city next weekend, man, for church. I hit you up. Smook, didn't Miro just graduate? They're going to give him a foot up as far as preparation and development. A lot of people are forgetting that. Miro has a year. He's basically prepping. Miro is in his professional prep year. He's in his professional prep year, meaning this year he gets to practice being an NFL quarterback. Players that benefited from having that type of schedule. And EJ, I'm glad you said that because I was going to do a short on it, but I think I'll just clip this here. So I'll create a marker here. Let me do this, chat. I'm going to do like a live cut, and I'm going to try to go back and edit it. So chat, y'all continue to comment because I do know how to edit and get your comments on the screen so that yeah, I'm in Tuscaloosa now, Kevin. But David Spade, housekeeping. Y'all trip. But listen, so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this take, right? And I need y'all to act with me right now. We're gonna act like we're doing a fresh take, but this is kind of like what EJ was alluding to and asking me, right? And this also goes into our identity. So let me hit this marker and we're gonna start in 3, 2. Bama Nation, one thing that I want to bring to y'all right now is that Alabama is going to be able to establish a new identity. And it all starts in the quarterback room because of the foreseen leader in the quarterback room, and that's Jalen Milroe. A lot of people have been very critical of, his progression from last year, how he hasn't been able to advance. But if you look at the film, you look at the stats, you look at the numbers, you can see that he got progressively better in a system and a play calling style that didn't necessarily fit his skill set, or he didn't even have a solid offensive line towards the early parts of the season to really allow him that space to grow. A lot of the snaps were arid. A lot of his backside protection was off. And it was expected having a freshman left tackle out there. But once you get into the schematics of this, and you talk about the way that Kalen DeBoer calls plays and this offense is designed, you expect Milroe to be able to grasp it. But let's move off the field. Milroe has done a great job in getting ahead in the classroom and accelerating. Milroe has now put himself in position to just be a professional quarterback at the college level. I say this because he's graduated early already. The young man has already obtained his degree. He's come back for this another year to solidify himself going into the next level because he does have the dream of becoming an NFL quarterback, and I believe he can do it. He has the athleticism. He has the arm talent, a lot of inconsistencies, a lot of small things that can be tweaked in a matter of months. These aren't things that need years to work on for him to fix. These are things that could be fixed in a matter of a week. You get what I'm saying? So with spring ball coming around, I'm excited to see Milroe get his opportunity to be a leader and be the foreseen starting quarterback for this offense. And I'm rooting for Milroe because of so many people doubting him. Now, when it comes to the rest of the quarterbacks in that room, I think every quarterback in this quarterback room is capable of being successful in this offense. I love Ty Simpson's arm talent. I love his generic, not generic, but more traditional style of QB play and his delivery, his form, everything about Ty Simpson says day one quarterback, right? But he has a guy in front of him in Jalen Milroe that I believe he respects and understands what type of abilities and different nuances he brings. And I think Ty Simpson's learning a lot from Jalen Milroe when it comes to what to do and what not to do. So if he uses that going into the spring, he sets himself up for success. And you look at Dylan Lonergan. Dylan Lonergan is a guy, man, natural ball talent, has the size, has the discipline. I mean, just young. He just so happened to come into a situation where he's the young guy, and it's just how the natural order of things flow. And he's going to have opportunity to make an impact and create some value for himself this spring. And then the new addition of Austin Mack. If you turn on this young man's high school film, his highlights, and he's a guy that should be running, but never wants to get out the pocket and run because he is a big guy. It's hard to take him down. He stands in the pocket. He takes some crazy hits. He delivers the ball, though. He is very keen on delivering the ball. He has a good understanding of his concepts and things of that nature. And I think this quarterback room and the competition in this room is going to be electric this spring. And I know that we will have the quarterback by the time kickoff against Western Kentucky. So for everybody that's doubting Jalen Milroe, don't count him out. Root for him, because if he's doing good, that means everybody else behind him is doing good, right? If he's maintaining the starting position, that means everybody else is getting better. So if he goes down, we don't have to have no lack of confidence on who's next. I would rather have a room full of quarterbacks, 4 quarterbacks that are capable than 1 quarterback, and then you lose a quarterback and you have to change the whole offensive scheme. We don't have that in our quarterback room. We're blessed. We're spoiled. Let's appreciate it. That's all I'm saying. We're going to cut that, man. We're going to cut that, and we're going to save that. The QB room is solid. It's very solid. It's fire. I mean, you can't I want to go look at other QB rooms sometime this week. Shaw 44. If Ty Simpson pulls, and you know what? If there was a way to get in touch with Ty Simpson and talk to him, I wouldn't be telling him this just to say he's not good enough. I'm not telling you this because you're not good enough. I'm telling you this because you are good enough. But there's a time and place for everything, and I feel like Ty Simpson could really thrive if he just continues to stay loyal. Mac Jones was a first-round pick because he stayed loyal. He didn't put himself out there to be developed on the game, during game time. When Mac Jones touched the field, he was game ready. He did the same thing that Ty Simpson did for 2 years, where he would get spot minutes. He was a relief QB. He would get 1 snap a game, come in and, have fun with it, have his energy up, support his teammates, enjoy the trips. I mean, you live in the life of a college student. And now Ty Simpson has NIL value. It's not like he's struggling eating oodles and noodles and can't go out and hang out. Like, he has a good life. He comes from a nice family. Like, he has no stress. The only stress he probably has is the fact that he's not seeing the field as a starting quarterback. That's the only. And if you look at it, you look at where you're at Alabama. Austin Mack is another year out, right? I don't think Austin Mack will be starting this year. He'll grow. He'll continue to improve. But with the quarterbacks in the room, I don't see Austin Mack jumping Ty Simpson or Jalen Milroe unless they just totally crap the bed, right? Unless they just totally crap the bed, and this staff, they've been telling us one thing and going to do another. That's the only way I see Austin Mack getting a starting job. Everybody else around him has to crap the bed, because no quarterback has an elite ability other than Milroe, his elite speed and ability to use his legs. Everything else is kind of like different styles, but you can measure them up and they look about the same. So KD, this identity of Alabama is going to start in this quarterback room, right? It's going to start in this quarterback room, and I think it's going to start with Milroe. And if we maintain the identity, if our team takes on the identity of Jalen Milroe, what does Milroe know how to do more than anything? He may not be the best passer, he may not be the perfect quarterback, but Jalen Milroe is a winner. Go look at his time in Texas in high school. Go look at his record in high school. Go look at his record since he's been in college. Remember, his first win came in the system under an offensive coordinator that told him he wasn't a quarterback. Just remember that. That's what started his whole career. His first start was, hey, you're not good enough to be a quarterback for me. That's what he was told. That's what he was told. Personally certified hater said with $5 super chat said, I'll never forgive those Bama fans who said Tyler Buckner is better than Jalen Milroe. Buckner throws a ball of a QB who's in a movie. Just ugly. Listen, professionally certified hater, listen. I appreciate your $5 super chat. But what's crazy is the old show I was on, and y'all know where it's at. I ain't got to say the name. When I was against Ty Buckner, I didn't even want to do a take on Buckner, right? And on the staff, you know, the panel, they was like, hey, let's do it. You know, we got to be unbiased. So me being unbiased, I used to be giving takes on Ty Buckner laughing, right? Like trying to be serious, but I never saw it. And you had the likes of you had the likes of Chris James over there, Coach Chris James over there, trying to make the case for him. You know, and me and Ty Hayes, we had a funny debate about it. My brother Ty Hayes, we had a funny debate because Ty never believed, you know. But our thing was always this: if Kalen DeBoer, if Nick Saban brought him in, it had to be for a reason, right? And I think he knew. I think he knew Miro was going to need something. Buffner. Hey, but I think Coach Saban was kind of still playing chess instead of checkers and with that move. So I'm excited to see this this QB room get to work. Brian Russell, just imagine how much more that goes over. Brian Russell says props to Ty for having that loyalty. He could have literally start for plenty of teams. And you know what? I think that plays more into his value with this coaching staff that's coming over, because they're going to see Miro's talent. They're going to see his ability to develop. But they're going to also look and say, Ty Simpson, please don't leave. I know you're not the starter, but Miro is going to be our guy until for the time being, until proven otherwise. But just know we have plans for you. I think they've already had that conversation with him, because Ty Simpson could have been at Auburn starting right now. If Auburn gets Ty Simpson, like the rumors were saying, if Auburn gets Ty Simpson, they will be a team to be messed with. Like, they will be a team that I will honestly say, I will not want to see them, whether we see them at home or not, with Ty Simpson at quarterback. And that's because they've recruited some solid wide receivers. They've got some wide receivers out of the portal. They got some running backs. They got an offensive line that they got to put together. They got to figure that out. They got a D-line. They always keep defenders, right? They always keep defensive players. Auburn can really be a threat this year if they get a quarterback. And I would hate for Ty Simpson to come in this spring, do what he do, solidify himself as possibly the backup or be still in the running for a starter position. I honestly believe we won't leave out of spring not knowing who the starter is. So if Ty Simpson is not the starter, he will be the backup, right? And if he transfers after that, I don't want him going to Auburn. Go to Hawaii. Go to you can even go to don't even go there. Go to UCF. Go to UCF. Go to Maryland. Go somewhere not in the SEC. I don't want to see you, Ty. I don't want to have to play against Ty. I don't want to have to play against Ty. Not on a decent team. Go to South Carolina. You go to South Carolina, I won't be mad. But if you go to Auburn, I'm gonna be mad at you, first of all, because I hate the school. But secondly, because that team might have something. Y'all could beat me up. Y'all can beat me up. Y'all can say what you want, but I'm really a realist in this stage of my life. And people always talk about this, the Bama goggles and all. No, I'm realistic. I know what we have. And this is by no means saying that Ty Simpson is better than Miro. I'm telling you, if I'm the quarterback, if I'm the quarterback coach and I determine who gets to start, Miro's my 1, Ty Simpson's my 2. You just could do more. You could just do more. And you allow Ty Simpson to just continue to develop. You basically have 2 starting quarterbacks on your roster, right? And the moment Miro's not having a good game, right, you don't have to try to let him work his way out of that rut. You know, if he's had 1 or 2 games where he just doesn't catch the flow and exceed and excel, you get your chance, Ty. You get your chance. I'm not counting Ty out at all, y'all. I'm more so for identifying all the positives that these quarterbacks are bringing to the room, so that when they are displayed and the negatives are outshined, y'all know that what I'm talking about with the value in these guys. Appreciate y'all. Pastor Kevin Graham, much love. Roll Tide from Mobile. Roll Tide, man. Roll Tide from T-Town. I'm in T-Town, baby. Will, you agree? Appreciate that, fam. Look, I'm telling y'all, man, and if you disagree, if you disagree with me, please voice it, because a lot of people think I get in my feelings when people disagree with me. No, if you're going to disagree, let's be logical in our disagreeing, because I disagree with y'all And I feel like I bring a lot of logic. I don't just disagree and say, cause I feel like it. No, there's a lot of logic and basis that I go off of in order to make a statement or disagree. So definitely want to, y'all, I'm over here. I done drunk like 4 bottles of water in the past 8 hours. Tell him, Janet. Auntie Janet, tell him. Just imagine if Jalen Hurts would have been in his feelings that year when Tua started and his opportunity came. If he didn't care to prep, didn't care to do all the things that solidify him as Jalen Hurts. What if he wouldn't have did that? What if he would have gotten his feelings and been trying to focus on the next step? He wouldn't be I guarantee he wouldn't be one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league right now. He wouldn't be a league MVP. Wouldn't it be a 2-time what, they've been to the Super Bowl twice, or they've been to the Super Bowl once. It was a game away from going to the Super Bowl. So same thing with Baker Mayfield. Same thing with Kyler Murray. Like, all those guys had natural ability and skill sets, and when they transferred, they had to really develop. They took time to develop. Jalen Murray, he didn't have to transfer. Somebody transferred into him that can develop him. So I can't wait to see it. Let's jump into this reality of reach segment, y'all. Y'all know how we do, man. I got a few in the email, so we're going to jump to the email. I'm going to see if I can get a good screenshot. Get some screenshots posted. Ooh, 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 ooh. Y'all, hey, so when we get to the 8A game, I swear I'm gonna try to have this mug on a loudspeaker, this beat right here. Y'all think I'm playing. Y'all think them boys are like this coming out to the... I might have to edit it, though. I might have to edit and add some... Oh, man. My wife get mad when I do that, y'all. If she still watching, she get mad when I do. I do that when we out in public, y'all. I do it. My wife gets so mad, y'all. She be mad at me, y'all. I be Oh, man, y'all know I'm a clown, man. Y'all know I'm a clown, man. Y'all know I'm a clown. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I really be... Hey, Wow Sam, what's good, family? Everybody ready for 8A? You know what's crazy? Y'all gonna be getting a lot of 8A feels from this channel because we're gonna be at practices, y'all. We're going to be at the practices. So y'all gonna get a lot of the 8A feels, what they expect going into 8A. Y'all gonna have a good... hopefully I'm able to give y'all a good feel for the lineups and all of that stuff, man. I'm gonna work hard to get this to y'all. Reality or reach? Let me get into the inbox, man. Bro, why all these people want to call me right now? Let me put my junk on Do Not Disturb. Could y'all hear my phone ringing just now? Let me put this on Do Not Disturb. Auburn is foaming at the mouth to get Ty Simpson. The sawmills are rolling at Yellowwood. Listen, man, I don't blame him. I don't blame him. And if Ty Simpson doesn't get the starting job and he transfers, I don't blame him. I just don't want him to go to Auburn. That's just my fan feels. That's me being a fan right there. I don't want Auburn to get anything we got. Them getting Antonio Kite was enough, you know. I didn't too much care to have Perry Thompson. Not nothing against him. I just don't. Is more Perry Thompsons. We have 2 Perry Thompsons on our roster with that can go up and get it too. You know, we have 2. Okay, that's the under the radar from Scott. I got that, Scott. And then Reality Reach. Uncle Jay bought us one. Uncle Jay, I think we did this one before. I'm gonna put it in the chat. I think we did this one before, and it's gonna be in poll form from now on, y'all. Here we go. Reality Reach. I'm about to put it in the chat for y'all. Did anybody else get this weird commercial with John Smith and this lady kissing on Stars. What show is this? Why he so ashy? Oh, the British are coming. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. Outlander. That's the name of the show. Here we go. There go y'all poll, man. Reality or reach? Will Kalen DeBoer win Coach of the Year his first year at the University of Alabama? Will Kalen DeBoer win Coach of the Year his first year at the University of Alabama? I'm going to let y'all look at it. Reach on Auburn going to be good. You think it's a reach, Big Bama? Don't be a fan now. Your feelings going to be hurt. And that's not saying they're going to beat us. I think Auburn might be good this year. I think Auburn might be good. That's not saying anything that we're not going to be ready for them. I just think in the SEC, when it comes down to it, if they find a quarterback, doesn't have to be Todd Simpson, if they find any legit quarterback, Auburn will be good this year. And y'all know I hate Auburn. Y'all, everybody in here, everybody in this chat, even before I started doing podcasts, I hate Auburn, y'all. I really do. Hate is not a good word, but I hate Auburn. The city, the school. I mean, I can't say I hate the players because I don't hate the players. I hate their thoughts. I put that to the fact that you thought to go to Auburn, the students that thought to go there, all the businesses that thought to get established there, all the animals that's born there. I hate Auburn, bro. Let's see some of the comments. I'm looking at the reality or reach poll. Is 74 reality, 26 reach. Come on, we're gonna leave it open until we get to 50. Let me look at some of the comments. Let's get into some of the comments, y'all. So y'all saying reality reach, getting sacked 100 times a game. His first year with playing time under his belt with no O-line with thanks, Kyle. They don't want to give Miro no type of credit for working with. You know what's crazy? Somebody made a comment yesterday on Twitter and they was like, y'all act like Bryce was great because he was trained up to be a quarterback. It wasn't no offensive play calling. It wasn't the offensive line. It wasn't the run game. Bryce just was great. We're not going to have Bryce. It's not going to be many Bryce Youngs come through college football. We have not had solid O-line play in the past 4 or 5 years. And if you're an offensive lineman that watches this show that played at Alabama in the past 4 or 5 years, I'm not taking no shots, y'all. But what, as Bama fans and what Coach Saban and this staff have been able to do traditionally, these offensive lines under Maroney and who was the other guy that just left? Somebody help me out. Who was ever since Kyle Flood left, we haven't been the same. Put it like that. But Maroney and I forget the other offensive line coach name. Some undefeated. Y'all help me out. Who said Dylan is better than Mac? Shaw 44. If you look at Perry Thompson's film and you look at Rico Scott, we ain't missed nothing. You look at Amari Jefferson, we ain't missed nothing. You look at Jeremy Bernard, we ain't missed nothing. You know what? The fact that people was considering him to be the next Julio, I was like, how? Reach, they'll say he had the Saban set up and give it to Oregon State coach for winning 7 games and beat. Okay, I get you, Moon Rocker. I can see that. I can see why it's a reach. I can see why you saying it's a reach. Facts. They will do that. They won't give a coach credit for coming and replacing the GOAT and winning 11 games, 12 games, right? But they'll go over there and give a coach who turned a team that went 1-11 last year, won 7 games this year, coach of the year. That don't make you coach of the year. You've won a few of the games you should have shouldn't have lost last year, right? Javor's Childress, if you got reality to reach, send it to my email here. If you got reality to reach that you want to submit, send it here, man. CoachSmook@gmail.com so that the chat can get active with it. Wolford. Yeah. Wolford, Coach Wolford. The offensive line under those two coaches wasn't anything great. What I will say this is under Wolford, at least I saw some improvement once we got the right personnel out there, right? Never got a center out there. Don't know if we could find the offensive line specialist or a center specialist. Can we go get a grad assistant or analyst to go and just, you know, teach snaps? I don't think we're going to have that problem with Parker Brailsford this year, but, man, we could have used that last year, right? Let me look at the reality to reach update. Where we at? We have 47 votes. We need 3 more votes. We split 70-30 right now. 70-30 reality. 70 reality, 30 reach. I need 3 more votes. 3 more votes so we can shut it down and get the final count. 3 more votes. Come on, y'all. Kristen, what's good? What's good, Kristen? My sis in the chat. What's good, family? O-line coach because Baylor AD was but hey, he was hurt by him leaving, man. And that's the thing. Him and Kalen DeBoer got ties, man. I did not know that. I mean, the story started coming out after the around the table interview. So that's crazy, man. It's a reach. You got to answer. Did you answer did you answer the poll? We need 1 more vote. 1 more vote, and then I'm ending it. 1 more vote. One more vote. It's 69 reality, 31 reach. Come on, 1 more vote, y'all. Come on. It's been up 6 minutes. We want it to get like when spring ball kick off. I'm telling y'all, it's gonna be so many people come through here. I want y'all to be able to get y'all votes in. 50 votes gonna come in quick. 50 votes gonna come in quick, and all that does is create energy, keep people active on the chat, paying attention. So this is my answer, and because there is kind of an open. I just asked how Uncle Jay wanted me to ask. Shout out to Uncle Jay for the reality or reach for today. Shouts out to you and the Undefeated for submitting them. Continue to submit them again. Like I said, y'all want me to start putting them up there? Send them to Smook Scoop, CoachSmook@gmail.com. Here's my response to it, and I'm gonna say it like this. So, is Coach Kalen DeBoer going to win Coach of the Year? The only way he wins it is if he goes undefeated, wins the SEC. That's the only way he wins it, right? But if Coach Kalen DeBoer goes 10-2 in the regular season, and that might be well deserving of Coach of the Year, right? He doesn't get it if he goes 10-2. And so for that reason, I think it's a reach, because I could see us at worst being 10-2, at best being undefeated. But they are going to factor in the fact that you have one of the highest rated rosters in the country right now. You secured the number 2 recruiting class in your 24 recruiting class. You signed them. You secured that class. Your 25 class is starting to shape up to look like, you know, a beastly group. You know, you have a staff of full experienced head coaches and coordinators, right? Everybody on your staff is either called plays or been in a coordinator, head coaching position. Especially on your offensive side, you got nothing but coordinators on that side. All these guys have called some phase of the offense, called plays for him. So they won't give it to him because of that. He's not developing a bunch of young coaches. He's kind of just putting together a dream team of young guys who are ready to prove themselves, right? And I think it works out for him. So for that reason, I think it's a reach. And I'm not saying that he isn't deserving. He will, if the season goes as planned, I think he is definitely deserving. He will be deserving, but he would have to go undefeated in order to win it. Like, to win it outright, he would have to go undefeated. And it would have to be like a season where Kirby Smart and Georgia just kind of demolished everybody. They only had maybe 2 real games that season. It would have to be that type of year for Kalen DeBoer to win Coach of the Year. So, with that being said, y'all, appreciate y'all for hanging out. Y'all run up the emotes while we get paid again. Let's get our sponsors on the screen. Shout out to our sponsors, Residence Inn in Ocean City, Maryland. If you want to, if you're ever in the area and you want to book there, guests can book at residenceinnoc.com. Use the promo code LPR for special Bama football pricing. You will get up to 20% off on your stay. you can scan that QR code right here at the top right of the screen of the graphic, and it'll allow you to book there. And also, if you want to continue to support the channel in a mighty way with your monetary value, check out our Fan Funders link. Is at the top of the comment box, or you can scan this QR code, or you can go to the homepage of the channel and there's a Fan Funder link. Become a Fan Funder for Bama Football on YouTube with Kyle Henderson. The perks included in this Fan Funder is $2.99 to start. You can go $2.99 or higher, but the perks included, you get access to the special emojis. Y'all see all those cool emojis down there. You get access to all the exclusive videos with spring ball kicking off. I promise you, you do not want to miss out on the exclusive takes and releases and leaks that we're going to be providing for you all. Not necessarily leaks, but insight. I'm not going to call it leaks because it's not leaking anything. We're just going to be giving you insight based off of our perspective and our observations. And if you trust our observation, our perspective, man, if you've been following us for a while, we've been kind of spot on with how we've seen this team. It's going to be fun to see how spot on we are in this new era with this new coaching staff. And then also you fund the team. You basically pay us to do what we do. It is free to watch. It's not free to operate. So when you donate and you support with your monetary value, it definitely supports and it keeps us afloat. Let me make sure I didn't miss any super chats. All right, we got all the super chats out there. Let me see. Shaw, make sure you send me that email. Make sure you send me that email. And where else? What else we got down here? I think Bama will be better team in 24-25 season than they were in 23-24 season. This isn't much of a reach. It is very much in the realm of reality. Hyperactive, I agree totally, because when you think about the change in schematics and what we've seen that stops with Kalen DeBoer and what we've seen that stops with Kane Womack, you give those guys the amount of talent that they have at their disposal and their relatability as coaches, you got a scary team. I like it. I like it. Shane Brown, facts. Bama is a hunter for once and not the hunted. I like it. I like it too, Shane. So for everybody that's here, appreciate the 170 you that stuck around to the end. We had got up to like 205 peak today. So I appreciate y'all for hanging out during my segment. Thank you all for it. Don't forget, man, make sure you go and follow your boy on Twitter if you haven't already, at Coach Smoot. Go follow me on Instagram. Go follow me on YouTube. My YouTube channel is down, but we're still trying to grow it because we plan on integrating it here with Bama Football on YouTube with some of the content once the season kicks off. And NCAA comes out, still going to be doing some of the gaming content here. So be ready to tune in and have a good vibe with that. But yeah, I'm excited, y'all. This is an opportunity for Bama to be great. And with that being said, y'all, thank you all for all your support. It's been fun. And y'all know how I like to end it, man. It's your boy, Coach Smoot. And I want to give y'all a nice little roll tide. Y'all have a good day, man. I'll catch up with y'all. My bad, y'all. I forgot to tell y'all. Today's schedule. Come back tonight. Get up with Coach Jay. He be on at 6 with Fan Reactions with Jay. Then you got Coach Sean with Just My Humble Opinion. And then I'll be closing it out tonight. So now, with that being said, roll tide.